Hold on, give me a minute. Let me fix the layout. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, there we go. Drew, you blurry.
Am I really?
On my end, you are.
On my end.
Y'all, is Jerry blurry, y'all?
Yeah, I'll clarify that.
Let me go to YouTube and see if you blurry. Could just be
Yeah.
the app. Well, no, you look blurry on YouTube too.
Really? I don't know if I got a way around that. So hold up. I do not know if I have a way around that. Give me 1 second.
You're clearing up though. At least on my end, you're clearing up.
Okay. You can hear me straight though?
You sound good. Looking eye. Insane say you look clear to him, so okay. So maybe it's my clean internet. I don't know.
What's up, y'all?
What's been good with you though, man?
And you know, baby almost here. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop doing that.
Who that?
You and these babies.
It's my last one for sure, bro. For sure.
You paying any attention to this Louisville NC State game?
They playing some struggle ball over there. It looks like, bro.
Yeah, they are.
Nobody.
Yeah,
really,
they are.
Nobody.
But see, this game is like so crucial for Louisville because I think they only play y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Did they play North Carolina? Maybe y'all in North Carolina. Maybe. I know for sure they play y'all.
I know.
I'm not too sure if they play North Carolina.
They play us way down the stretch.
And that could be the game for that could be a game to get to the ACC championship.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They can't blow this game against NC State.
Absolutely.
But a little solid little ACC game going on, man. How you feeling about your Canes so far?
You know, bro. I was trying to be a pessimist as much as I could. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that you know, you don't want to get too high. So the only thing I'll say is, I saw last week Texas A&M had 17. I think it's 17 tackles for a loss and like 5 sacks against Auburn or something crazy like that. So I say,
it is Auburn though, but it's in a rebuild. It ain't a rebuild. I think Freeze will get him right, but it is first year. Hugh Freeze.
He will. I'm just saying from a where we were last year standpoint, offensive line obviously has been tested well enough for me to put a little bit of stock, especially to the pass protection stuff. But we got to get in the ACC play, man. You know, like that's really what it is about, is the grind of getting through the ACC, right?
Sucky part about A&M, they just lost their starting quarterback for the year.
Yeah, they lost Wagner, and he was one of the. I think he's top 5 in the country. Wasn't he a top 5 graded guy or something like that?
I'm not sure what he was grading out as, but I mean, that's not a good look for Jimbo and the boys. So
nah, man. But I mean, like I said, man, I'm where we're supposed to get better. We got better. I think I've told you that. Like, if your specialty as a coach is quarterback play, you got about 2 years to prove me right. You know what I'm saying? So if O-line's your thing, we should be seeing some real, you know what I mean? Some progression.
So O-line definitely looks better.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Maui I think he's the truth. I think obviously he's gonna have those freshman mistakes, but I think you got a first rounder. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think you got a first rounder right there. Top 10, probably top 10 guy.
If he cleans up a couple of them holding penalties, bro, which is gonna happen.
That's freshman stuff. Yeah, that's freshman stuff.
Yeah, he's legit. I want to see Ruben Bain define his role a little bit more. You know what I mean? You know, in the sense that he pops, but the production, he's just he's like a hand length away right now. You get what I'm saying? And you want to see him get that little extra oomph to get there. But it's an exciting group of young kids, man.
Okay, I feel that. I'm glad, I'm glad that maybe we could finally see us play each other 2 times.
Bro.
I mean, when ACC did this, that was the intention, right? Was FSU Miami 2 times a year. That was the intention.
Right.
It's crazy to think that in 20 years it has never happened. Right. Not even once. It's actually crazy to think that. So.
You but it's not just the fact that it could happen, bro. At least to me, it's what we're gonna see on the field. You should see 2 teams at the point of attack that are tough. You know what I'm saying? That are actually playing. At least I know for us, I haven't seen a disciplined defense in 6 years. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen linebackers that can actually fill gaps since Shaq Quarterman. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Maui Goa, is he the best linebacker y'all got too? I was like, the Maui Goa changed the team, bro.
He's the dude, man. I think
he's solid. He's very solid. He's better than I thought he was going to be. He come from Washington State, didn't he?
He looks like.
And they got a solid squad up there.
He looks like one of them dudes, A-Lo, that next year April you'll be talking about. Okay, he's not going to be drafted high, right? But he just looks and plays like a backer. You know what I'm saying? Like, put him on a roster. He's gonna line up. He's gonna fill gaps and he's gonna cut.
Check this comment out, bro. We've been talking about in the group chat.
Man, can we save that for another one? I got FSU questions.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, we can say that question later. Don't worry, it's same month. We're gonna come back to this one, though.
Bro, the Colorado discussion I think has taken. You know what I mean? But for you, Clemson, right? You got out of that one. You got out of that one, right?
That's fine.
So my question is, I don't know if that game raised concern for y'all, or if you feel like it was like you have to get over the Clemson hump because Clemson's been.
I'm about to say. So what's the concern? Because regardless of what happened at Duke, Clemson is more talented at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of said this when they brought in. I think people think Garrett is his brother, and I don't think he's his brother.
No.
I don't think Garrett Riley is Lincoln Riley.
No.
And I think he's a little bit overrated, to be quite honest
right.
with you. And I think it showed in the play calling in that game. They did some silly stuff. And I'm not going to lie, if certain things that they had done, like in that one play, down the stretch, if they had just ran the ball on 3rd and 1, I think they would have picked up the first. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Right.
I think they would have picked up the first. But Garrett Riley decided to throw a screen pass to the outside, or maybe Klubnik made that call. I don't know why you would give that call to a first-year starter who's only started 5 games in his career, but whatever.
Right.
They made mistakes, but at the end of the day, I mean, how many games do you go back and look and say, if we didn't make this mistake, we would lose? Like, at the end of the day, we won the game.
Sure.
So you can talk about who won it, who lost it. At the end of the game, Florida State found a way to win the game.
Sure. No, and again, it's even when we play them, right?
I knew. I told people, and Mike's not going to like this, but I told people, I said, I got a feeling we're going to we're going to do something to LSU that people aren't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
That Clemson game is going to be the war that we think the LSU game is going to be, just because it is a mental hurdle for Florida State.
That's fair.
And that's exactly how it turned out.
That's fair. And again, that's why I asked if it was, because I haven't paid attention to much here recently. I apologize from a stream standpoint. But if it was a concern thing, or if it was we had to get over, I'm thinking as a coach here, right? Regardless of the status of that other team, that team's been winning my division or my district or my, you know what I'm saying? Like the Packers played the Lions last night, right? Yeah. The Lions had to win that game to say, I'm here.
Yeah, we've arrived. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm asking is, what did and it sounds like you didn't walk away concerned as much as you are. I had to get past that point.
So from a coaching standpoint, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
as a coach? Would you be more concerned from a team that you feel like they're clicking, they're playing on all cylinders, but they're barely squeaking by? Or would you be more concerned of a team that you know you haven't played? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Florida State's played good football outside of 2 quarters, and that's the last 2 quarters. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sure.
Even Southern Miss, and we put 66 on them. There's a lot of things now. That's because they chose to play certain players, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think since the last 2 quarters of the LSU game, Florida State's played a complete football game,
mm-hmm.
and through 4 games. So as a coach, are you more concerned with that, or are you more concerned with, or what would you be concerned with? I guess
if that's the premise, I would be asking myself, and you're going to be looking for it, is when do we turn that corner, right?
Yeah. When do you? Yeah.
And that's the only concern is because the way college football works, you have those 12 games are your playoff, right? It's always been that way. So I have to make sure that corner's turned when I have to turn it. Like, I don't have in the NFL, I got 6 division games, and I may be able to.
Yeah, and in the NFL, you got plenty of leeway.
Yeah, but in here,
you don't even got to get clicking until December, really, in the NFL.
Everybody's like worried about the Bengals right now. I'm not that worried. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the Bengals. Like, holla at me when they're 3-9 and there's no.
Then yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that would be the concern if I, from a coach's standpoint. But again, I really respect the reality that in order for the season to be what it is, you have to go to Clemson and win, right? And for us, it's the same thing. Like, if the defining moment of this season for Miami isn't 10-12 wins, because nobody picked that, right? The defining moment is, how do you look when you play Florida State, Clemson? And
I'm gonna be there too. I already got them tickets booked up.
Right, but also, can you get over the UNC hump? UNC looks very vulnerable.
To me, that's the biggest question for y'all.
Yeah, you got to get over that UNC hump.
I keep saying this, and we can talk about this later, because I want this to be a whole college football discussion. Mm-hmm. And I know, look, when I look at Caleb, he's got all the physical tools, bro. But the only reason I think Drake May is my number 1 guy, because I can't name another motherfucker on that offense, bro.
Agreed.
I can't name another person on that offense.
Agreed.
And that boy Branch at USC, that boy might be the next Reggie.
Right.
Over there.
He's the truth.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, you're right. North Carolina's vulnerable.
Sure.
But they still got Drake May.
Sure.
Very similar to us in Clemson. When was the last time you beat them? For Miami, it's more so than the Florida State game. Can you beat North Carolina?
Sure.
Because if you can't beat that team,
sure,
you're not. I don't think you're coming into Tallahassee and winning that game. I'm gonna be honest.
No, but again, I think it comes down to, for the sake of the program being what it is, because this isn't supposed to be an ACC championship year for Miami. It's just that's not what you walk in the year thinking, right? It's how you look down the stretch. You beat up on the small guys. Are you going to play Georgia Tech in 2 weeks on a Saturday night, punch them in the mouth, and then repeat the process? UNC is the type of team, to be fair, if you punch them in the mouth offensively, their defense cannot respond to it. I think we've seen that by now, right? Appalachian State just gave them boys hell again for like the 8th year straight with that.
Yeah, but This is the thing about USC that's so crazy to me. Okay, Appalachian State. It seems like they. First of all, if you're a D1 team and you're scheduling Appalachian State is D1 now. But if you're a Power 5 team and you're scheduling Appalachian State, you are retarded. Right. Excuse that. I know that's an offensive word nowadays. Yeah. But I wouldn't be scheduling Appalachian State first and foremost. I mean, they beat Texas A&M last year. With that said, though, they dominated South Carolina, who should have beat Georgia.
Yeah.
So this is, and we can get in this conversation too. Like, the parity in college ball, I think, is better, more apparent than we've ever seen.
But Adrian, what do we say though? Very few people that's in this chat right now will remember the conversation we had when Mario got hired, Lincoln Riley got hired. And the first thing we talked about was regional recruiting, right? There would no longer be this grasp on
Right.
I'm Bama and I'm Georgia. I'm going to go to California and get the tight end. I forget Brock Bowers, and I'm going to go get Bryce Young. And man. So the recruiting map has shrunk back to you got to get who you can get, right? And you got to make the most of it. So I think that's the biggest factor in that. You know what I mean? And it's changed in 3 years. It's legit changed in 3 years, plus the portal, right? But it's legit shifted in 3 years. And I really think that's the key contributor, bro, because these guys, again, if we were looking at 4 years ago, Maui Goa would have been where? Alabama, right? Ruben Bain would have been where? Alabama.
Georgia. Alabama or Georgia.
You know what I mean? And now you can't just grab the kids anymore. You know, so I think that's the biggest one, to be honest. Even look at Texas.
I don't disagree. I think we always knew Cristobal could recruit. Now I may question coaching, and we've had these conversations, but
sure.
We always knew the man could recruit.
Sure.
Mike Norvell has. I mean, you can speak to this as me, obviously not being a Florida State fan, and you not having the garnet and gold blinders on.
Sure.
But if you can't see the growth of that coach from day one to now, I mean, I don't like. Is Mike Norvell the perfect coach? No, but one, who is, and two, the man's still young and growing in this role. I think Mike Norvell has a bright future if he continues on this path. And say what you want about it. I think Napier's not good. But they do have the number 4 team and the number 4 recruiting class. I don't know what that is. We'll see if that lasts when it's all said and done. I got my feelings on Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, my hope is that we keep all these boys in the state.
Mm-hmm. Because
my hope is that we keep pulling these boys from Georgia. Because, I mean, Florida State really, historically, we've actually owned that state way more than the Bulldogs have.
I was saying that. I was saying that this year when you got.
I told people that for a long time.
Yep.
Florida State's clicking on all cylinders. Yes, they do go into Miami and get their guys, but they lock down South Georgia. It's basically an extension of Florida.
Sure.
So I think there's a chance for all 3 teams to be relevant.
Sure.
More than relevant, but actually like keeping our guys home. Do you think Jeremiah Smith stays home, since we're on that? I think he's flirting too much with the schools to not stay home at this point. I don't think Ohio State has a quarterback up there right now that makes him go, I'm going to that school.
Sure.
I think that's the problem right now.
Sure. Well, here's the problem is you look at Ohio State, and if you're Jeremiah Smith, you're thinking 3-0, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have Brandon Ennis, who is just the best receiver out of South Florida last year, go up there. I don't think he caught a ball yet.
I don't think I've seen him on the field yet. Granted, I haven't watched every snap of Ohio State games.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, so you have this kid who, at all 3 schools, if you really look at it, he could jump in and start tomorrow, just about. There's no way you're keeping that kid off the field if you get him. You know what I'm saying?
Not Jeremiah Smith.
No.
He's even more so than Ennis. And Ennis, was a good high school player. We'll see what he is in college.
Yeah.
But Jeremiah Smith is 6'3". His playing weight is going to be 2+.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
and he's fluid.
He's AJ
right?
Green. He looks like AJ Green.
Yeah, he's fluid. He's a fluid athlete.
Yeah.
So, he's Or Ennis is a little bit smaller on the smaller side.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just looking at that experience. Like, if I'm a kid, I'm going to leave Florida to go up to that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, he's going to get paid wherever he goes. He's going to find the money. That's not the issue.
NIL is going to be there at this point.
Do I want to go to Florida to play with Lagway? Right.
That's an option.
If you're looking at it from a Florida State perspective, he has to say, who am I going to play with? What my role is going to be? That's the recruiting pitch.
I mean, you could. So if you look at Florida, it's Lagway.
Right.
Lagway.
Right.
Look at Florida State.
Right.
I don't know how much you've watched Luke Cromer-Hope, but he's skyrocketed up recruiting.
No, I know that. Yeah.
But more so, what Florida State is like, well, I'm gonna be lining up opposite of Hakeem Williams. Right. So Hakeem on one side, Jeremiah on one side. That should be enticing.
Right.
When it comes to Miami, I think the only thing I would question with Miami, I'm not trying to be a hater.
You're not.
But there's Emory Williams and there's Air Judd.
Sure.
So there's 2 3-star project guys. It doesn't mean they're not. I'm kind of discounting Jakari, but maybe he develops into that guy. But either way, I think the quarterback system for it, and I'm saying all this. I don't know. You probably didn't watch me on Wednesday. I actually said if I think he flips, I actually think he flips to y'all because both of his teammates have already committed to y'all. Like I pay attention to what's going on. Like this isn't a coincidence that JoJo. I'm gonna explain it to you because I don't think you watch. JoJo Trader was trending to Florida State, even though I told people all along. I said JoJo's going to Miami,
right?
But they listen to who they listen to. I go, JoJo Trader is a trending to Florida State, and then he commits to Miami. Right before Zaquan committed to Miami, he was trending to Florida State, and I said, well, I actually didn't speak on Zaquan because I was actually in the desert when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jeremiah Smith is very similar. I think you don't think those kids are best friends and they talk like,
bro.
If you may put a gun to my head right now, I said he's going to Miami.
Bro, it's not just that.
If he decommits from Ohio State, it will be Miami.
It's not just that though, Alo. It's apparently so Miami was always taking 2 quarterbacks this class. My understanding is that they're now
the quarterback on the board right now.
I've heard that is his quarterback, Bailey, that they've started entertaining Bailey.
What's his
He's committed to NC State right now. The quarterback for Chaminade. So you have him, you have Chance Robinson, who came from the Ravens program. You have Ryan Mack, who came from the Ravens program.
Right?
Huh?
Chance is committed to Florida, right?
No, he's committed to Miami.
That was the first wide receiver y'all got. Absolutely. And then I heard he was flirting with Florida, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. So you have
and he's on that team too?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
They play youth league at Miami Ravens together. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So Ryan Mack is another Raven. I think the Telemac kid is the Asian kid. I think he's a Raven. I'm not sure, but you're right. When you start piecing that together, you say, okay, right? So I will probably just get to the point. If I see that quarterback decommit from NC State, then I'd throw on the fire signal because that means he's probably coming to Miami. And then that probably means that boy's coming with him. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I just with those Chaminade kids, the way it's looking to me, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. They're all committing to Miami.
Well, it's what you said about when we were talking about Ruben Bain a year and a half ago, right? Yeah. Is you could say you could take the visit, you could take what you want, and same with Basaint, but like Miami Central is right around the corner. Y'all really you know how bad of a look that is if one of those two was to ship up north? That'd be terrible for Mario, especially if it's Mario. With Manny Diaz, you almost expected it, right? But with Mario, it's like, hold on now, like that dude's supposed to be something. You know what I mean? So it looks like Louisville just lost. Are we looking at that?
Who just made? They just kicked a field goal. Is that an L? I wasn't paying attention to the time on the clock or nothing. To be honest with you, I saw that they just kicked the field goal. We can forget about Louisville going undefeated. So I guess they just.
Did they miss it?
I guess they must have missed the field goal.
Oh no, they made it. They made it.
It was 10-10. So
13-10 with 5 minutes left.
Louisville?
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of games. Yeah. Okay.
Brennan Armstrong might get it, but yeah, man, I think we're leading. If all goes well, we'll be on a collision course for November. And that's
so. What are your concerns? 4 games. I mean, it's 4 games in, right?
Uh-huh.
But what are your concerns? And granted, y'all really haven't. I mean, outside of A&M, it's been what? Miami of Ohio, Temple, and Bethune. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what you really gauge from that. But 4 games in, do you have any concerns? Or?
I mean, of course, because you have to say, obviously the secondary hasn't been tested technically. You know what I'm saying? A&M was a decent test, but at a point A&M became very one-dimensional. I don't know if you watched the game, but it wasn't the type of balance you would have seen from Jimbo. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we was just teeing off on him at a certain point. So you want to see the secondary. The secondaries had some coverage busts that nobody took advantage of. That's probably the biggest thing. I think Van Dyke looks more comfortable than I've seen him look, obviously, since 2 years ago. I don't like one thing I don't like, bro, There's a couple people out there saying, "Oh, he's managing the game well" or whatever, and I'm like, dog, like you want him to throw for 400 against? What's that?
I was about to say, like, when it comes to TVD, like, honestly, for me, I'm not surprised what he's doing because this is what he runs. He runs this system, and him throwing for 400 yards a game is exactly what he was doing when Lashley was there, and he set college football world on fire as a redshirt freshman, right?
Right.
So Gaddis was trying to fit a round peg in a square hole, and obviously that's why he's not there anymore.
Well, but the point is, though,
and him just being healthy is he's doing this thing. But no, TVD don't need to be. Every quarterback needs to manage the game.
Right.
TVD needs to be pushing the ball down the field. I think that's his strength.
Yeah.
I think that's his strength.
But you haven't. If you watch any of these games, everybody's playing 10-yard cushion or press bail, right?
I hate it.
And it is basically just like, well, we're going to run the football for 250 yards, and that's what you're supposed to do. And we couldn't do that for the last. Again, maybe since Duke Johnson, Mark Walton is the last time we're talking about Miami having a running game that was just like line that shit up and we'll figure it out later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let him manage the game until you play a team that's actually going to press and show some pressure and see if he can make the throw.
Well, Georgia Tech's improved, but I don't expect. Honestly, I don't really think y'all will get tested until when I look at y'all schedule. I don't really think you get tested.
I don't think the offense does it. The defense will get. Georgia Tech is a good, kind of like a warm up for ACC play.
I bet you Jimbo wish he had King right now.
Big time.
I bet you he wish he still had that kid.
Big time.
Especially with the injury. Obviously with that injury, I know he wishes he still had that kid.
Bro, the detriment of having, and y'all saw it with Jimbo at Florida State, when you have so many quarterbacks, you may not always pick the right one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're almost like it's almost like a detriment to have that many talent, because Kings was a 5-star guy or close to it. Whitney,
no, he was a 5-star
guy.
I think he was consensus 5-star from.
That's what I'm saying. So you got both these guys plus multiple 4-stars. Who do I keep? Max Johnson was another 5-star guy, wasn't?
Yeah.
So it's like. So anyway, I agree. I think I don't know. Jimbo, we've talked about Jimbo extensively, but it's just a very weird situation because they lost to us. It looks like the world's over. What if they go on and beat LSU, right? Bama looks, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a weird situation at schools.
We talked about that in the chat a little bit. I'm like, man, the SEC is about as down as it's been. And the reason it's down, not because teams aren't talented, but the quarterback play is almost is pretty god-awful. Yes. It's why the Pac-12, in my opinion, is the best conference in college ball. Right. Not because I believe the Pac-12 teams have these great defenses, because I really don't.
Right.
But their quarterback play is incredible. I can't name a bad quarterback in that conference right now.
Yep.
Like from Caleb to Cam Ward to Shadur to who am I forgetting? Cam Rising ain't even played yet.
Michael Penix.
Because he's been hurt. Michael Penix. Penix might be the leader for the Heisman right now.
Bro, Uiagalelei has found himself.
Ungalele.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, who I don't think is any good, honestly. But in the Pac-12, solid quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a solid quarterback.
Yeah. Oh man, Caveman's got a good question right there, bro.
Adam, you need to make your way to I need Adam. Go ahead and make your way to that's Adam right there, by the way.
Oh, I
don't
know.
If you know that. But go ahead and make your way to Tallahassee, bro.
You know what, bro? If I really do think you'll see a situation in the Pac-12, I think there's a good chance. I'm not trying to speak this into existence. What if USC gets left out, right? Just theoretically, what if USC is the Pac-12 team that gets left out, and they're a 11?
The only way that happens is if I don't think that I don't mean to cut you off. I just don't know how that happens.
Washington, Oregon,
everybody being ranked, even with a loss, even a 1-loss USC, I don't know if they get left out.
But no, what I'm saying is left out of that Pac-12 title game because I think you'll see that SEC type. Listen, we got 3 top 10 teams.
You think they're going to cannibalize each other, basically?
Yeah, but I do think you could look at 2 of them potentially being like 1-loss teams at the end of the year. Now, when the Pac-12 is about to dissolve, you got 2 Pac-12. You get what I'm saying? Because even what's their names? Utah still hasn't lost yet. They're playing Oregon State right now.
I think they're losing right now, but yeah, they haven't lost yet.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, it's just it's too much going on over there right now. That it's brutal. It's really brutal.
Here's the main. I mean, here to answer that question though, let's say you got a 3-way tie and 1-loss teams or something. Is the committee gonna not pick USC though?
No.
When you start getting into the political part of it.
Sure. I think that's fair. That's what I think. That's what I said. I think it'll be interesting. I probably jumped the gun on the question, but I think you can legitimately look at USC being a 1-loss Pac-12 runner-up, right?
USC to get left out would have to get blown out in their loss.
Right.
That's the only way.
Right.
That they would not face, or they would. It's the only way. Yeah, like if they put them in there, they would face ridicule. If like in that loss, it was a blowout. But if every loss is close,
right,
when it comes down to the moolah and the ratings and the viewership, sure, Southern Cal's getting in the
So you say USC gets blown out, right? Let's say
they get blown out, yeah.
But let's say that happens, right? I mean, you could really look at freaking Oregon and Washington. you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how good I think those top 4 Pac-12 teams can make a case for being top 2 in the country, right? Just being real, because it's wide open right now. Even with Texas, like I know you were a little bullish on Texas compared to most, to be honest, right? So yeah,
I still am, and I still am.
Yeah,
I think Texas has the best win in the country.
Yeah, by far.
So far, 4 games, I don't think it's close.
Yeah,
and I get a lot of pushback.
Yeah,
because of course this is Florida Chase channel. So what do you mean us beating LSU 45 to whatever it was? No. That's not the best win. Well, it's a great win, but Texas went into Bryant Denny, prime time, and beat them by double digits. Like that's the best win of the season, bro.
And play defense, which is. You haven't seen Texas play defense in 20 years, right? So
stop acting like Bama. I mean, look, it's Bama. Bama's still Bama, bro. Yeah. Like, okay, they don't have a quarterback is their problem.
Yeah.
That defense is still legit.
Yeah.
And Quinn Edwards threw for what? 3+?
Yeah. Yeah.
And 3 touchdowns, no picks?
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Gotta give credit where it's due.
Yep. No, you got to, man. I'm very interested in them. But anyway, big picture is you're looking at the top 3 teams in college football. You can't really pick one, right? Because you didn't watch my show Wednesday. No, I didn't. No.
I did my top 4 teams 4 weeks through the season.
Who's that?
So we would love to hear your top 4. So my top 4 weeks in, I got FSU 1 because I obviously, but sure. We have the best resume. Say what you want, LSU and Clemson, and I know Clemson lost to Duke, but that's still a talented football team. You can argue coaching, you can argue all the things.
Okay.
Florida State and Clemson.
Okay.
Excuse me. LSU and Clemson makes FSU have the best resume through 4 games, in my opinion. Yes, we struggle with BC, but teams struggle all the time.
Sure.
2018, Clemson struggled with Cuse. They still went on to win the Natty. Sure. Like, it happens.
Sure.
Number 2, Texas, because they have the single best win this year.
Sure.
The single best win. Number 3 is Ohio State. I gave him credit for Notre Dame. You're going to Notre Dame in prime time. Yeah. I think that's a very credible win. And I have Penn State number 4.
Who did Penn State beat?
They beat Iowa, who was ranked 24.
Okay.
I struggled with it was between, for me, Penn State and Washington. My problem with Washington, while they look great, they played Michigan State, Boise State, and I forget the other one with Portland. I don't know. I forget the other teams they played. But they haven't played anybody, in my opinion. They haven't played anybody.
You make. I
can't put Georgia in there because they ain't played nobody. I can't put Michigan in there because they ain't played nobody.
Right.
Basically, the 4 best resumes, in my opinion, through 4 weeks.
So here's my problem. I don't necessarily like doing a formal ranking, right? But What I'm saying is this: you can rank them how you want to. I think there are about 8 teams right now, from a talent standpoint, right? That
are very close. I don't
that are
disagree.
relatively smushed together, right?
I don't disagree with that.
And you would include, just you have to go by the catch names quickly. Georgia has to be one of them. Florida State has to be one of them. Texas has to be one of them. Southern Cal has to be one of them. I know, I understand the Washington. If it's about quarterback play, you have to throw Washington in there.
I'm with you on Washington. Like, I understand the Washington hype. They got to play somebody first.
Yes.
Before I go all in on
to validate it, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have Washington. Who else you got? I just lost it. Penn State was another one. Ohio State's another one. I would have had Notre Dame in that top 8 if they didn't lose to Ohio State. I thought
if they would have beat Ohio State, it probably would have been 4 for me.
I think that's one of the bigger blunders we've seen in terms of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you saw, whether it be the experience, whether it's the maturity of the team, Notre Dame really blew that game, like big time. Big time. Yeah. You gotta hold them accountable for that.
So they only had, I didn't even realize it at the time, Notre Dame only had 10 players the last 2 plays of the game. Like that's egregious. Like that can't happen, bro.
I can't show you love for that.
that can't happen.
I got to ask now, man, because now my mind's churning. I don't have a set ranking in my head. By the way, unrelated, Louisville's winning right now, but they go on the road. No, they play Notre Dame at home next week. I don't know if you know that. And then 3 weeks later, they play Duke at home. I didn't know that either about Louisville's schedule. So it might not be as cakewalk as we thought it was.
Notre Dame doesn't matter, though.
For Louisville, it does.
Not for the ACC. I'm not looking.
Fair.
I'm strictly speaking of Louisville being in the ACC picture. Notre Dame doesn't matter. Duke is an interesting game. I'm gonna find out what I need to find out about Duke this week because they play Notre Dame.
So okay,
it's gonna be a little interesting.
I'll say this: if Duke beats Notre Dame this week, let's say that
I'll be a little bit more. I'll take them a little bit more serious because we played them.
But time out.
I think that's our homecoming game.
We talking resumes. Right?
Duke has a hell of a resume.
Duke, I think you would have to move Duke. Nationally, they'd have to be a top 10 team.
So I said this Wednesday. I was like, y'all gonna laugh at me, but Duke beat Clemson when Clemson was still a top 10 team.
Yes.
And they beat them by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, man, you tripping with Duke. No, I'm not tripping with Duke.
Yep.
I know what Clemson looks now. Right. But if you would have told me preseason that Duke beat Clemson by 3 TDs, come on, man. So yeah, absolutely, I'm with you. If they beat Notre Dame, then Duke's in the mix for like one of the better teams in the country.
If they beat Notre Dame, and luckily they got them at home, right? But if they find a way to beat Notre Dame tomorrow, I think you have to call them a top 10 team in the country. I don't think it'd be very disrespectful if you didn't, right? It can compare to what you've seen across the board. I'm gonna need some time with that, bro, because that's an interesting. Who are really the 4? If you're going by resumes, I think your argument's about as solid as you can get. Texas has the best win. FSU has 2. I call them 2 ranked. I don't think I'm that low on Clemson. Yeah, I think
if you told me Clemson won the rest of their games, would that shock me? Absolutely not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we down on Clemson, and it's fun to pick on Clemson when they're down.
Sure.
But that team still has a ton of talent on it.
Sure.
So
while we're here, Clemson is the Dabo Swinney dominant recruiting, high-flying offense era.
Bro, the crazy thing about Dabo is he never recruited dominantly.
I feel like he's always had some dudes on the roster.
Go check the rankings. He's never been what he's always done is get. I don't know how he pulled that shit off, but he went from Taj Boyd to Deshaun Watson to Kelly to Trevor Lawrence. Like that's what he's always done. And even Ungale was a 5-star. So he's always recruited the quarter. I think Klubnik was a 5-star too. He was always got the quarterback down pat. And that's what has kept him in the mix. But he don't recruit like elite.
He doesn't recruit like Georgia Bama.
Yeah, no. He's never done that.
No.
But he gets these he's 2 NFL quarterbacks, like legit NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah, back to back.
Yeah, back to back is insane.
So maybe this is a better question. For instance, Clemson's defense, that clearly from a personnel standpoint looks like it walked out the door with old boy, right? It's on point.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good. But it looks like that defense has walked out the door. So I guess where I'm getting at is if Klubnik doesn't hit, right? Like if Klubnik does not end up being a guy at the end of this year going into – honestly, I mean, per Dabo's history, like that ship has kind of sailed already, hasn't it? You know? You're looking at Watson and Lawrence being 11, 12-win guys in their second year. You get what I'm saying?
Even Boyd won a lot of games. Like –
I don't know. It feels like the momentum is shifted from him a lot.
Clemson's issue, is for whatever reason, they're actually, if you actually check their like recruiting, they're still recruiting defense fairly well.
Solid, yeah.
The problem with Clemson is you can't name a receiver. Like them boys had Hopkins and Salmon and Williams. Not Williams, but Martavius Bryant.
Yep.
Like they had dudes in that receiving core. You can't name a receiver that they have.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's their issue.
Right.
And if the offense, like more, I know Venables made that defense like a real deal.
Sure.
That offense carried Clemson for that run.
Mm-hmm.
And if Dabo can't get a grip on that offense, I don't know. I think that's been Clemson's identity even when Chad Morris was there, like their identity was offense.
The defense was definitely complimentary, bro. It was complimentary to what they were doing.
Even with all the talent on defense with the boys, especially that year they had all them boys on defense that all went to the NFL. And it was still complimentary because you had Trevor Lawrence on the other side.
Like Cleveland Farrell and,
Farrell and all them boys. Like,
yeah.
If Clemson can't get that offense together,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's for Dabo Swinney, quite honestly.
And it looks like they're blowing Shipley. Like Shipley was the #1 back in the country when he came out, right? And his career feels very like
it wasn't for Shipley, that offense would almost be anemic.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you went from Etienne and Lawrence to freaking Shipley and Ungale. /Cup. That's just not a good look. It looks like you missed. Yeah. It looks like you missed on that equation.
I'm with you there. I'm not gonna feel no remorse for Clemson.
No, at all. I'm just saying it feels. You know what I mean?
It definitely feels like maybe a changing of the guard is in order.
For sure. So, bro, they brought up. We could get to Cormani in a little bit, right?
Go ahead.
But
lead the con.
This is. I got railed, not railed, but I guess I got called a hater. You know how that works.
The game's over.
By a handful because of Jim made a comment. Deion made a comment. And he was like, we're like 8 guys away, right? We're like 8 real dogs away from getting this thing to where we need it to be. And he said that. I'm like, okay, well, let me do the math. The O-line, you need a new 5. I think we agree on that. You need a new 5 on the O-line. Nobody there is savable, right? And on the D-line, you need 4, plus you need rotation, so you need 8, right? And I'm trying to tell Jits, I'm like, Colorado has proven with Deion.
They need, first of all, before you continue,
sure.
Defensive side,
what's up?
They need a whole front 7.
Yes.
They need a whole front 7, not just D-line.
Yes.
The linebackers aren't any good either.
Yes.
I'm just telling you like it is. The linebackers aren't any good either.
But yeah, no, I guess what I'm trying to say is folks really think it's going to be as easy as, well, Deion's going to get any kid he wants now, right? because he's brought the show. I'm like, dog, I don't know if Deion's going to get the really 20, 25 kids that he needs to really bolster up the trenches like he needs to, right? Because you can't just have 2 or 3 defensive linemen. You need about 10 of them, right? And to your point with linebackers, I can't just have one elite linebacker. I need 3 or 4 of them.
Maybe in the Pac-12 you can, but
and maybe in the Pac-12 or the Big 12, right? But then
that's right.
You put it all together.
Yeah, they're going to the Big 12.
Yeah, you're right. But then you put it all together, Adrian. You know how hard it is? All those guys, Bear Alexander might have been the only true elite defensive lineman. True elite. When I say true elite, like that kid has a potential first-round grade on him by the end of this year to hit the portal last year. The only one. And the only one that was kind of proven. Them dudes just not jumping in the portal for fun. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They're just not. So it's like, I love, and you remember in this group, I don't know if we talked about it live, but I said before Deion went to Colorado, everybody was go to USF, go to USF. I said, no, go to Colorado.
No, we talked about that, and we thought Colorado was a great spot for him.
And I think it's great for him, and I think you need a solid 2 years to get that trench work just humming a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's like, man, y'all can't. Deion's gonna say some things to get kids energized. Y'all can't think it's gonna be as simple as I'm gonna go pluck my 8 because I want it, right? Like that kid isn't gonna leave, playing at Alabama where, hey, this guy's got a track record of first round.
No, Colorado was the perfect spot for bro. People kept saying the UCF junk, and here's the problem with USF.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of y'all ever been to Ybor.
Yeah.
But come on, man. Like, and the campus is actually located like what, 2 minutes from Busch Gardens. Like,
yeah, that
area isn't college atmosphere, live jumping. Like,
no.
Everybody who says we should have went to USF because it's Florida and kids would have been. He was much better at Colorado, believe me, because it's different. It's away. They have cool colors. Colorado actually has a tradition and a history that they can sell.
Right.
USF does not have that. And bro, I spent many weekends in Ybor City. Like, it's cool.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, it's cool, but let's call it what it is.
It's just, Adrian. It's just we gotta. I think we need to make sure people keep this in perspective.
Yeah, Adam. We spent plenty of nights in Prana. Like, we know, bro. We know.
Come on, man.
Cool. It's a cool, but come on. For college,
but
right now, them boys over there in Boulder, Colorado, they are the kings of damn near that entire state. It's not that wouldn't have been the case in Tampa.
And in Colorado, you can disconnect. You get away from your family. All these kids you bring from the South. And you're there to play football.
Prime would have been dealing with a bunch of issues. I'm telling you, the Florida boys in Ybor.
A ton.
Look, if you're from the area, bro, you know what I'm talking
about. The whole hood would have came out for Deion, bro. And them boys would have been living life. You understand?
Yes.
Life.
Yes.
Not like Miami. Them boys will get in the prime 112 and all of that. No, them boys would be right in the hood.
It would have been. It would have been different.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cool. It would have been fun and cool, but I don't think he would have had the success.
Yeah. No, and he wouldn't have had the national stage either, which is I always thought he needed that.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I will say, and I said it to you guys. I don't think I said it on here, but if they win 8 games, which we talked about, Alo, that means Shedeur and Travis both solidified top 5 pick grades, right?
Let's speak on that.
Right.
Let's speak on that.
And I walked away from, and we watched the TCU game basically together, right? Shedeur's arm is live. I don't think he missed anybody in the TCU game.
No,
I don't think he missed anything. If he had a chance to throw it, he was hitting. Same thing against Colorado State.
Shedeur does 2 things that I think will have him a long future.
Yeah,
he's accurate and he protects the football.
He's got a cannon,
and he can make all the throws. So that's 3 things. And he can make all the throws.
Mm-hmm.
My only issue with Shedeur is And I think this comes from playing at Jackson State, where they just flat out had the most talented team on the field at most games. He doesn't know when to get rid of the football. He takes unnecessary sacks. And with that O-line, when a team, I don't know, actually rushes 4, they can't even handle that. He has to get rid of the ball. But Shedeur does a lot of things well. I'm a fan.
I think he has.
They hate when I talk about it, but I think Shedeur, he has all the tools, in my opinion.
I think he has elite arm talent across the board. I think I said preseason, kind of looks like Jacoby Brissett, the way he moves and stuff, but the quality of play is just, it's next level. He's going to be a dude, right? But again, and we said this.
And Travis Hunter is the real deal.
He's true.
He's the real deal.
He's also a better receiver, which we said here before anybody else said. He's a way better receiver than he is a corner, way more impactful.
Way better.
I don't think, and that's not calling him a bad corner. He's just way more impactful at receiver.
No, I'm not calling him a bad corner. I think some of that stuff that he did at TCU is a little overblown because TCU had the worst game plan I've ever seen. I don't know what TCU was doing, offensively or defensively. They had one of the worst game plans I've ever seen.
Kendall Browse looked like a jackass, and we talk about
Kendall Browse. Yeah, he looked like an idiot, bro.
He looked like, what were they popping off at one point? 7 yards a carry. 7 yards.
I think they were going for 8 or 9. I think it was like insane. Like when they could run the ball at will. Kendall Browse like, well, I don't want to run the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this halfback wheel route. At Travis Hunter. You know,
at Travis Hunter, like.
It was a bad one, but you look at. I think Shedeur, not this year, right? If you can get him. And I don't think they're going to be elite, but if you can get him some solid tackles, right, and then find a way to actually get more than 2 yards a carry, that's what they're at now, like 2.8, something like that, he should have a much better year next year. You know what I'm saying? There's just no balance in Colorado right now. He needs a little bit of balance. But I think Travis Hunter, man, I play him at receiver, put him at corner when you need him. The kid's gonna go top 10, top 15.
Yeah, one of the biggest things with what Prime's doing, and I was very critical of Prime leading up to the season. The team is way more functional than I thought it would.
Absolutely.
With that amount of player turnover, the team is way more functional than I thought they would.
Absolutely.
So I was very impressed with that.
Absolutely.
They still are weak in the areas that I thought they would be weak in. But no, they actually play very, very they play hard.
Right.
They play hard.
Right.
And they're not getting it's not like they're getting out schemed, right?
No.
They're just not talented in certain areas that a good team will take advantage of, like Oregon.
The talent deficiency in the trenches is the problem. That's obvious, right? And I wish you should almost have like access to that group chat so they can just see we're only talking about football because
I know, right?
We're watching that Nebraska game and we're sitting here calling it. As soon as Nebraska sent 4, pressure. It was instant pressure.
Not even in Nebraska. Nebraska is kind of like, well, I don't know. If Jeff Sims could not turn the ball over a gazillion times, they might win that game. It was a TCU game for me that I'm like, TCU has the offense to beat this team.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you doing? You gave Shedeur if you give Shedeur 10 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to pick you apart. And that's exactly what happened. It's like, I get it. You run a 3-3-5. I get, bro, bring pressure. That means you need the blitz.
Yeah.
Bring pressure. TCU was content with rushing 3.
Yeah.
And he picked that shit apart.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're rushing 3, you're supposed to have, Calais Campbell and goddamn
right.
And, you know what I mean?
Like, what are we talking about?
I say this, ML 1219, watch USC get in the shootout. I think it's possible, but I also think there's a possibility that USC has 27 tackles for loss tomorrow. It's just a weird dynamic. Here's
the thing with USC, and I was I won't say very high on USC, but I did not anticipate the Pac-12 being this.
Yeah.
So I had actually USC in my Final Four.
Yeah.
Now I'm not so sure. Like if you told me Washington beat USC, I would not be shocked. USC doesn't play defense, so I get why people think that this might be a shootout. The problem is, and Jerk already spoke this guy's name. I think Barry Zimmer's about to have a field day on them boys. USC, you just need one good quality defensive lineman, and he's about to eat up that O-line.
They're not going to run the ball. They're not.
Yeah, exactly. And Colorado's not going to run the ball.
Right.
So it's going to be a field day.
Right.
It's going to be a field day.
Right.
So Lincoln Riley, two things you can guarantee about a Lincoln Riley team: great quarterback play and a suck-ass defense.
Yeah.
That you can guarantee that from a Lincoln Riley football team.
But he's also going to be balanced. He's going to be very balanced.
That USC defense is going to look a lot better, I think, tomorrow against Colorado because Colorado is very predictable offensively.
Yep.
Because they can only functionally do one thing because the O-line is not good.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, my boy. I think USC's best hope or Colorado's best hope, they could find a way to turnovers and consistently protect with 6. If they can protect with 6, they'll have a shot.
Yeah, their best hope is that Caleb has a bad game.
Yes, absolutely.
That's their best hope. I'm so upset actually that I don't get to see Hunter versus Branch.
Yeah.
Because that's box office. Yeah. That would have been so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Those two on the field. I'm upset that I don't get to see that. But they better hope Caleb has a bad game. That's their only shot.
Yeah.
Essentially, Caleb plays his way out of the Heisman talk.
Yeah.
He's still going to be the first or second pick in the draft. But essentially, he plays his way out of the Heisman talk. That's their only hope.
To Adam's question real quick, USC right now, you're not going to like the number. They're number 35 in the country in run offense, but it's 192 yards a game at 6.9 yards a carry. All right, so you do with that information as you please. 7 yards a carry is nothing to scoff at. That means I'm doing what I want to back there. Gant is not starting at Colorado, I don't think.
Gant's not starting. I don't think Gant's played. I don't know if Gant might have been dealing with the injury, so I don't go too hard on Brendan Gant. Yeah. D-Mac is, I think, started every game. D-Mac is what he was at Florida State, y'all. So nothing with D-Mac has shocked me.
See, bro,
I don't know why we thought he was going to go to Colorado and be a 10-sack guy.
Bro,
he's not.
It's another thing I got told I was a hater for. Colorado, with the exception of Hunter, Shador, the kid McCaffrey,
and that running back they got. That boy's a dog. That's a freshman.
But he's not a transfer, right?
No, he's legit
freshman. But they got the running back from Houston who's a dog for real. He hasn't played yet because he's hurt.
For whatever reason, they don't give him any burn.
Well, he's still getting healthy. They said he's still getting healthy.
He did blow. He blew his knee last year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he blew his knee game 3 or something. But we're gonna get to Cormani in a second, Adam. But the point is, aside from those top 2 or 3 guys, all of those transfer guys are leftovers.
They took Travis J. Now, we talked about Travis J extensively on this channel. And what did I always tell you about Travis J? The reason Florida State fans were so enamored with him because of the potential. Not anything he ever did.
Right.
It was just the potential that he had.
Right.
And it's never shown itself, and it's not showing itself in Colorado.
Right.
Amarion Cooper, he was cooked food for Florida State last year. The only guy that they got from Florida State that I actually think might turn out decent for them, and that's a redshirt freshman for them, and that's Bishop Thomas. I wish we actually could have kept that kid. They play him at fullback sometimes on goal line situations. I actually wish we kept Bishop Thomas. That's the only guy I think, and that's only because he's so young and so raw still, that there's a lot of coaching that's still in it. But everybody else, bro, I didn't think Amarion Cooper was going to go over there and become lockdown. No. Travis J wasn't going to go over there and become all of a sudden this amazing safety.
Right.
Brandon Gant is a great special teams player, but he's not a starting linebacker in any capacity.
Right.
D-Mac is D-Mac.
Right.
He gives you solid reps because he understands the defense, knows what he's doing. He'll be lucky if he hits 5 sacks for the season.
Right.
And the crazy part is that's in the Pac-12 where They throw the ball a gazillion times, and this man still can't generate sacks.
Yep.
Nothing about Florida State, nothing about Colorado and the Florida State transfers have surprised me at all.
And I was telling people before the season. Now, mind you, a lot of guys, and we talked about this, there's a lot of guys that watch CU now aren't necessarily college football homers, regulars, right? And the thing you got to explain is, and that's why I said it's going to take a year or two. We got to get some guys in there that other people actually want but can't get because Colorado's got them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the missing piece there. Is like I need that DN prospect, that D tackle prospect that Nick Saban really wanted that kid, but he can't get him from me because he's committed here. Like that's who you really need at Colorado. And that's the only bad thing also about where they're located is that kid doesn't live around the block. Right.
So we've talked about that. I know we've talked about that. I think Mike has even chimed in, and I gotta get Mike on here one day.
One of these days, yeah.
Mike's more active on Twitter nowadays too. Yes. I gotta get Mike on here. Because if y'all think y'all know football, I would love to get Mike on here. Yeah. It's these two guys. It's this guy and Mike. When I talk football with them, they taught me so much about this game, bro. But anyway, we've talked about that with Mike. The only thing that Deion has, I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on Deion because I'm really not. But he gets all this credit as a recruiter, but that's only because he pulled Travis Hunter and Cromartie McClain. But what else has he pulled?
You got to see it.
And to your point, where's the old lineman? Where's the top tier defensive lineman? Where's the positions that really, when it comes down to it, the meat and potatoes of building a team, and that's how you get to that next level? He hasn't done that. And I'm telling you right now how Cromartie's looking. How he's not looking because he's not playing. I mentioned it to you. I wouldn't be shocked if he transfers. I don't think he should have went up there to begin with. The only reason he went up there because he had Wallow and Gilly the Kid doing interview. Like, I get the spectacle. I get those things. He would have been better suited with a team that actually, and I'm not saying Prime isn't holding him accountable. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he's not coaching him. But Deion, but you got
the culture's not there yet. It's impossible.
Yeah, I think
you don't.
With a guy like
a fit,
Deion is like
to lead that kid.
You know yeah, there you go. There you go. You don't have the guy that even if Deion can't reach him with his coaching style, you don't have the guy on that roster that he's gonna listen to. Because even Hunter is a young football player. The thing about Hunter is, he's just naturally gifted.
He's amazing.
He is prime time, right? So with Hunter, he's just naturally that.
Right.
I'm not saying Cromartie's not naturally that, but he's not in that realm. And we thought he was. I remember we talked about it, all that preseason hype about they got the best corner duo, and we were like, what? First of all, Hunter's coming from Jackson State. He may be that guy, but it was Jackson State. Mm-hmm. But Cromartie? Mm-hmm. Yeah, man has played one college snap, and you're calling this the best corner duo in the country?
Right.
So it's not shocking that Cromartie isn't.
Well, you again, bro. Shador, amazing, right? Shiloh looks very good. Travis looks very good.
And I'm gonna let you continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually think Jackson State has helped Shador a ton.
Absolutely.
I think playing at that level, and everybody's like, "Well, he played at Jackson State. That don't mean shit." I actually think that is the reason why the transition for him has been so seamless.
Right. He's so you look at what it takes to really build a program, right? And the best college football programs, and you're looking at it now because you're there at Florida State, right? For instance, you have Fentrell Cypress, and who's the other corner? I forget. I'm sorry.
Ronaldo Green.
Fentrell Cypress is like 20 years old.
Number 8.
Right. So
Fentrell's a redshirt junior, I think.
Right. So he's a 5th-year junior, right? Because of COVID, right? Same as the other buddy. And the new kids that are coming to FSU are learning from the kids who have been in college for 5 years.
For a long time, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the kids that's going to help you build that core. You know, that we never really talked about that. maybe we talked about it when De'Aaron King came through, but that was the only benefit to bringing in De'Aaron King. Obviously, we got a better quarterback in Miami, but Van Dyke got to be around a dude that's been in college for 4 years, right? So you get to come in college and you watch this dude that has good habits.
Well, I've spoken to that, and I know Mackenzie Milton didn't pan out like De'Aaron King panned out.
Sure.
But I think Mackenzie Milton was beneficial to Jordan Travis.
We said that on here.
Yeah, I think he was benefit. Say what you want about Mackenzie, but when he was healthy at USC, he was an absolute dog. Now it's UCF, excuse me, and I get it. At that point, they weren't Power 5,
right?
But he was still putting up numbers.
People
but just learning how to be,
People get this twisted all the time, and we talk about it with pro quarterbacks all the time, right? On the side, is the backup's really not there always to push somebody on the field, right? Because they're all head cases. Like, you want a community around your quarterback that's going to help groom him, So you're at Clemson and you have Trevor Lawrence or whatever. There's some dude holding a clipboard for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? That was the gatekeeper for a Trevor Lawrence, even though Deshaun was gone and he knew he had the job. There's some dude over there teaching Trevor Lawrence the ins and outs of Clemson football.
Yeah.
And you need that. So it's just, again, we're a year too early for people to think that, even for Kermani, hopefully somebody's getting to him and saying, "Hey kid, just wait because it's gonna get greater later."
I mean, Adam brings this up, and look, I don't like Miami, bro. But Jerg can speak to this. I said Cromartie would, and again, I don't like Miami. Cromartie would have been better off at Miami. Not because I think Cristobal's a better coach than Deion. I'm not going down that route. But there would have been a different. First of all that outside, all that Quavo and all them people, Shannon Sharp and Steven, all of that, Cromartie can't. You can already tell he can't handle that.
Sure.
When Deion's in a presser and he's saying this guy's not even showing up to meetings, that tells me he can't handle that.
Right.
And there's one thing about Mario that I will commend with two things. That's his recruiting, and he's very businesslike. There's no fluff there. This is what it is, and this is how I want to operate it. Whether it works or not, we will see in the end.
Right.
But he is very businesslike.
Right.
I think I told Jerg this the other day. Cromartie would have been better off to Mario because there would have been more. Not saying Deion, again, I'm not trying to make it seem like Deion isn't coaching this young man and he's not coaching this young man in his way, but there would have been a different emphasis on Cromartie McClain under Mario Cristobal because none of that outside stuff exists.
It doesn't
so
matter.
All this stuff about him not coming up to meetings, in my opinion, at Miami, they would have made sure he came to the meetings.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, Adam, the man would have been better off at Miami.
Right.
He would have been better off at Miami. That doesn't mean he starts year one.
Right.
But he would have been better off at Miami.
Sure. You're right. And again, it's not just a Miami thing. P.S. to everybody that's in the chat. They're going to go crazy. You know that. But it's not just he could have been at fucking Syracuse. Excuse my language. He could have been at, Virginia. You want to. Everybody doesn't respond the same way to certain situations, right? Your boy Hunter is good enough that, like, very honestly,
he's talented enough. And one thing about Travis,
throw him out there.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Not only what he does on the field, but if you watch him in the media, he is. I would argue he's prime reincarnated. He's a natural in front of the camera, bro.
Sure.
One thing about Hunter, he's not like even Cromartie. If you watch his recruiting interviews, he's very awkward in front of it. Cromartie is more, you can just tell it from watching him, he's more of an introvert. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert.
Sure.
But that's who he is. And you can tell he was awkward in front of the cameras. Like,
sure.
Hunter is not that. He is, in a lot of ways, his idol, his mentor.
Yeah, he's electric. So, he's personable. good in front of a camera.
So it works for Hunter. It doesn't work for Crow. It doesn't work for Money. He just isn't. They're different personalities.
Right.
And again, I don't think he benefits from being there because Prime's coaching him, I think, like he would coach a Hunter. But Hunter is Prime, so it works for Hunter. He resonates with Hunter. I don't think he resonates with Cromartie. That's just my opinion on the outside.
You agreed, and again, you're looking for a personality fit when you bring a kid in, and I also say this: number one, you want to bring in the most talented kid possible. So if Dion could have, he would have brought in 3 Cormanis in one class, right? But the reality is that you are big fish, big pond in Lakeland, right? He was the guy in Lakeland, whether it's at Lake Gibson, Lakeland High, right? You go to Colorado, you're not the guy. In fact, there's about 3 guys, at least 3 guys at Colorado right away that carried more weight than you, not including anybody else you bring in. How do you adjust to that, and who's going to guide you? Because all the other dudes,
no, seriously, like, I know you're taking my comments as like verbatim, but am I saying he's gonna be Dion? I can't say that, but you do understand what I'm saying. I know Jerg understands what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's gonna be Deion Sanders, but you see it with Hunter is that he's like you said, Jerg. He's personable in front of a camera. His play on the field backs it up.
Right.
Like, is he Deion reincarnated verbatim? Okay. I'm embellishing a little when I say that, or maybe a lot when I say that, but you understand what I'm getting at. Right. Like Deion even said himself, like, bro, you're going to be better than I ever was. I don't think that's hyperbole. I think he's saying that because Hunter has the tools, bro.
Mm-hmm. Remember, it's like when Michael Vick said that same thing about Lamar Jackson, right? If you compare the 2 guys, not just ability, but the 2 personality types, they're pretty much the same low-key, laid-back, I just want to play football type dudes.
And then Hunter plays in imagine Deion in today's NFL.
Yeah.
Hunter plays in a league that's more situated to his skill set.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I get what you're doing, Boxing Monster. I see you, but you know what I mean when I say that. I'm not calling the man on, but you know what I mean.
Adam just said it. The kid handles both very well, right? And every football player is not like that. Some football players just have to play ball and only be good at that, right? Like somebody has said when Lamar was going through the contract thing, I know we're not going pro, but it's just they're like, oh man, Lamar should hire an agent because he should be getting all these endorsement deals.
Yeah, I remember that.
He doesn't want any of that. What if he just wants to make his money, go home and get up and play football tomorrow? Like, not everybody's built to be in a Gillette commercial. You know what I'm saying? Like, lead a dude be. So now I get you 100%, man. 100%. But yeah, man, Cormani, like, if you look at it, it looks like he's going to transfer. Like, that's what his body language says to me. It's like, hey, it's too cold.
I'm not playing. It's too cold. Playing.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
At a minimum, I thought I was going to be on the field. I'm not even on the field. You feel me? And I'm not. Yeah. Let me go back down south somewhere.
Yeah. UCF will take him. I know that. I know Gus Malzahn will take him tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody would take him. If he hit the portal tomorrow, Miami would ring the door.
We would have a talk.
Florida State would give him a call back. Yeah. I mean, everybody would. Florida would be back in his ear.
You mentioned earlier Billy Napier, right? And when we talked about Florida, you mentioned Cormani coming back. I thought about Napier. We talked about Florida preseason, and I think we definitively said that there might be really 4 games that we would give them off rip, maybe 4. One of them was in Tennessee, right? I think not saying they got lucky and beat Tennessee.
Well, I talked about that. Remember I told you, I said, I feel like Florida can beat these boys. And I was like, if they beat these boys, that's going to change the narrative on Florida. For whether it's a lie or the truth, it's going to change the narrative because they just be a top 15 team or whatever Tennessee was ranked at the time.
Right.
But I didn't think Tennessee was any good. I still don't think Florida's any good. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Florida's still going to win about 5 or 6 games. I think they're going to lose to Kentucky tomorrow.
Do you think Tennessee might be in store for like a 7-win season? Because that's what
I don't think Tennessee is a good team this year.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked really bad. It looked really, really bad. Actually.
Milton has what I call a fire hose for an arm. It's strong, but that shit just goes. It just does stuff.
He's got to be the worst gamer I've ever seen in my life.
He's got an arm, but it just goes.
Right.
The overthrows are egregious.
Yeah.
With that kid.
He's playing football, but he doesn't.
Very similar to and this guy plays tight end now, but very similar to Logan Thomas when he was at Virginia Tech. Remember, we used to talk about him all the time about the arm talent, about how he's got this cannon, but he couldn't hit the broadside of a 757 jet. Like he couldn't.
I'm laughing because one of my homeboys, Moody, if he ever watches it, he'll know it. But there's a quarterback that his kid went to Wake Forest. We coached against him at Boca, and we saw him in one game at Wake Forest. And Moody said about 5 minutes in, he's like, "Hey man, you always got a chance to move to tight end." You know what I'm saying? And it's like, "Hey Milton, you probably
like Logan Thomas, like tight end."
You probably should have pulled that trigger a few years back.
You're not a quarterback, bro, and that's Milton. He's got an arm, but he can't. Accuracy, he don't have it.
Yeah, and so the Gator defense thing, like, I don't see it either.
I agree.
I'm not looking at.
I agree.
I'm like, it doesn't look like Gator defense is passed. I know that. I don't think they beat. You say they don't beat Kentucky. They're not going to beat South Carolina. I don't think they're going to do that.
They're definitely not beating Georgia. We dog walking that, so I don't care what you say.
You think they got Arkansas? Are they gonna beat Arkansas?
If they play like they played against LSU, no.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Mizzou doesn't look half bad.
Mizzou just beat Kansas State, and Kansas State's not some pushover, So I don't know, man. The Florida. This is probably the weirdest Florida season I've ever kind of been alive for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't put a finger on the pulse because the Tennessee win changes the narrative.
It changes the narrative, but it doesn't change the facts.
Yeah, right. Well, the facts aren't going to be seen until we get through these last 8 games, and then we can have a conversation, But yeah, man, they just Napier and Butch don't look good. And then you're looking at that recruiting class he had. Somebody brought up Lagway, and again, if I'm DJ Lagway, I don't.
You brought up Lagway.
No, somebody in the chat did. Brought up that he was being recruited hard by Clemson when we was talking about Clemson.
Oh, somebody did say that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, Lagway, who you going out there with? Like, I'm just being real. Like, that guy's gonna coach you up. You know what I'm saying? It's not like Clemson looks much better, but it's like I don't know if I can trust that.
So that was my biggest issue with Billy last year.
Yeah.
Was that he had AR.
Yeah.
And the AR he needed a lot of work, but we all talked about the talent that this kid had.
Yeah.
And the fact that you looked at AR, Anthony Richardson, and you said, I'm going to bottle him up and try to make him throw the ball and not use all of his, not let him be the next Lamar Jackson, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Because I'm worried about it. Bro, if he gets hurt, you're only winning. What did they win? 6 games last year, regular season?
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, you're only winning 5 or 6 games.
Right.
But if you play him how you play him, you're only winning 5 or 6 games. So what's the risk?
Mm-hmm.
And the way he utilized that, and then again, and this guy says it like you look at the way this guy looks in the NFL, and that all has translated. Mm-hmm. Everything we knew Anthony Richardson has translated.
Mm-hmm.
That was the biggest. That's the biggest detriment to Billy Napier. Was that?
Well, and then you look at Lagway, who is physically closer to Richardson than he is to Mertz.
Does he run like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he ran like that.
He could. Now, granted, I'm watching him play small towns in Texas when I'm looking at highlights, but he can move. So But again, it looks like you're going to take another dual threat guy and box him up. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. That's kind of funny, brother.
It's kind of funny. I laughed a little bit.
I'm gonna assume Bradley's a lady, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, hey, DCF, bro. I've been up here in Texas for 9 years, bro. I done told you where the estates.
And you going to Jersey? That's crazy.
You know, I am moving to New Jersey. He still ain't. You know what I'm saying, bro? He wishy-washy.
When do you make that move?
Next June, bro. I'm gonna be out there next June. So I gotta go.
Which means we need. Okay, so next June, I'm in Korea.
We'll link up before then.
We got to do something before the end of this year.
Yeah,
we got to do something before the end of this year.
Well, I was telling
BUT, since we're all in Texas.
Yeah,
we got to get something done before the end of this year.
No, I done told the wife, especially bowl season coming around, I got to check out some of those that's floating around the place.
If y'all don't know, Jerg is rich.
I'm not rich.
So his job moves in places, and he makes all this money. He shouldn't even be entertaining me.
This man said,
I am a blue collar 9 to 5, like paycheck to paycheck guy. This motherfucker is rich. If y'all didn't know that, Jersey's rich.
Nah, man, nah.
Whole job moving him out to New Jersey.
Yeah, nah. Damien, I'm moving to South
Dub, you gotta get up here too for sure.
Adam knows he got a place to stay.
And I'm gonna hit Nick up too. We gonna make it a whole fiasco. And Yoder just in Austin, so we good.
Yeah, Yoder just bought a house out there. Actually,
did he?
He just bought his house. Yeah. No, I'm not going. DC, I'm not going, bro. I'm not going. My baby's due around that time. Adam, don't do that, bro. You can't be counting my.
Thank you, Adam. No,
you can't be doing that publicly, bro.
And he a whole firefighter, so Adam knows exactly what I'm talking about. Adam knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Get out of here, man.
I'm over here risking my life.
Here you go.
For crumbs.
Here you go. You finna be retired in like a year though, bro. You good, bro?
A year, no, but I got a couple. I got 6 years left, and
Hey, look,
I'm putting in the paperwork.
You smoking wood tips during halftime, bro?
Definitely wood tips. Only because I'm in the military. If I wasn't in the military, I'd be smoking the plastic so I can. Yeah. Anyway. Anyway.
That boy said, I can't wait for 6 years to be gone, boy.
I got 6 years. 6 years, and I'm done.
Man. But yeah,
6 years, I'm done.
Man, I was just seeing, I don't know if it changed, but last I saw, Oregon State was up on them boys, man.
I'm actually watching it, but I haven't paid too much attention to it. But let's see. We talked about Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, we talked about like some of the better teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State, Miami, of course, we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Caleb Williams, Drake May, them 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who's 3 and 4 and 5? You know how I feel about Quinn Ewers.
Based on play? You're talking about based on play?
Play and talent. Like, I'm talking about NFL projection. I'm not talking about what we see on Saturday and who. Because if I'm talking about what I see on Saturday, like Penix is obviously up there. I'm talking about if I'm an NFL GM, it's May, it's Caleb, and then I think Quinn Ewers is 3. I've been saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing I've seen has made me not say that. But Shadur's making his case. I think that I actually watched that boy Cam Ward last week, and I was like, I like what he has mechanically, physically. I'm like, okay, that's another one. So I got Cam Ward, I got Shadur, Penix is another one who I see a little bit more Washington, but I do like Penix. Don't get me wrong. Y'all, Jerry, you already know how. You know how I feel about Jordan. I love Jordan, but as an NFL prospect, we're gonna slow down on the Jordan stuff.
Well, Cartman,
Hartman is like Kenny Pickett, bro. I don't see it with Hartman, bro. I'm just being honest with you.
Bro, here's the problem.
Good college quarterback, but I don't see it at the next level.
When you're having that discussion, right? It sucks, but you got to talk about how old them dudes are, right?
Yeah, like Jordan Travis, Sam Hartman. Yes, you have to talk about their age.
You got between Nix, Penix, Hartman, Travis.
I don't have anybody, so.
Right? But I'm just saying, if you're just looking at that group,
Hendon Hooker, in my opinion. Nix is this year's Hendon Hooker, in my opinion.
But that's the problem, is that all of them are 24, 25.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless you are clearly you can't miss, and you're 24 and 25. I got to be able to play you tomorrow and know that you're Andrew Luck, and so that eliminates all of them. To me,
so let's just look at the history of the draft, and let's look at Chris Weinke. Let's look at the Brandon Whedons. Like, those quarterbacks don't translate, bro. They don't translate.
Burrow was a touch bit old. Think about that. Burrow, Baker Mayfield were a touch bit old when you're looking at NFL and NFL projection, right? Because when you're 23, 24, 25 as a quarterback, you should be looking at your second contract in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that. How old is Jameis Winston?
21 when he got out. So he is
right now. I'm talking about right now. How old is Jameis?
Is he 20?
Jameis is like 2 or 3 years older than Jordan Travis, bro.
Yeah, I think
he's only 2 or 3 years older than Jordan Travis. Yeah. That's what. But that's to your point. When these players are old.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston came out of the college, went to the NFL as a redshirt.
So I'm gonna say this.
Redshirt sophomore. Sorry.
Right.
Redshirt sophomore.
So I'm gonna say this, right? So you're a little off on the age, but I just need to give it some like.
How old is Jameis? Is he 30 already, man?
Jameis is 29, right?
Okay.
But he's 29, but Jameis has been in the league for 10 years, bro.
It's already been 10? Yeah, you're right.
He's year 9 right now, right?
You're right. Jameis has already been 10.
So you're saying, Jameis Winston, by the time Jameis Winston was 24, which is Travis's age, he was already 14,000 yards in the NFL.
That's crazy.
But that's what I'm saying is like, it took the NFL going through that with Jameis, 5 years of Jameis Winston to be like, yeah, you could start, but you're not a franchise guy, right?
Man, 2013 was that long ago.
Right. But I'm just saying, you think about it in that context. So it's like, I almost have to look at Caleb Williams and Drake May by default and then say, okay, well, how old's Cameron Ward, right?
How old is he? Because he was a transfer too, wasn't he? He was a transfer too, wasn't he?
I'm from Incarnate Word. Hold on, Cameron Ward. He's actually only 21, so there you go, right? Like you look at a dude.
He's valid. No, he's valid. He's a valid prospect.
Yeah. So you look at him. What's his numbers like right now? I got to see. I haven't checked in on him this year.
Oh no, I literally just watched him last week against Oregon State because that was like a top. They were both ranked.
So he's off. Honestly, that
at one point in that game. At one point in that game, he was like 20 for 21, 300 some yards and 4 touchdowns. I was like, what the?
As a sophomore, 20 years old, 3,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 picks. And then this year, he's already got almost 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns and no picks to start the year for Cameron.
And what's his completion percentage?
75%. So it's like, yeah, come on. Like, let's talk about him. You know what I'm saying?
And Ward, he's up there.
You know, you remember, bro, we was having that talk. I think it was on here. Or no, it was in the chat with T about like this, you know, how the quarterback thing works. And I'm like, look, man, you have your top 2 guys. It's because Atwell was saying all that, put Williams on notice. And
I ain't gonna talk about it.
Another conversation. But you look at it and you say after them 2 guys, you know there's going to be a cream of the crop that's going to rise. There'll be Quinn Ewers and 1 or 2 other guys that are make it interesting. And Cameron Ward is a perfect example. Perfect example.
I'm gonna say this. I actually think when you're talking about arm talent, I think it's Ewers and Caleb, like 1A, 1B. You can put them however you want to put them.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I'm so high on Drake May, I don't think he has the arm. First of all, he still can make all the throws.
Sure.
But I don't think he has the arm talent of Caleb or Ewers. But May has some. I think he has some intangibles.
Yes.
Which is why I'm so high on him.
Yes.
I think he has some of the intangibles. But you're talking strict talent. I don't know if there's a guy better than Ewers. Mm-hmm. Caleb is extremely talented when I watch him. But Ewers, man, this motherfucker threw a moon ball to Saturn, bro, and dropped it in there on a dime for a touchdown against Alabama. I'm like, what is Caleb Williams? We watched him last year in the bar, and if he doesn't get hurt, they beat Bama 2 years running.
Absolutely,
2 years running.
Absolutely.
Ewers was dropping buckets in that game.
He can do things throwing the football, throwing people open that others can't, and that.
I hate to put this comparison on him. I see Aaron Rodgers. I see some stuff when he throws the ball. I hate to put that comparison on him because Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer, one of the top 5 quarterbacks, probably never played this game. I don't know, man. I'm so enamored with Quinn Ewers. I really am. I really am.
He's
I love what Sark.
Bro.
I love what Sark's doing.
He's a spinner, bro. Again,
he can spin.
You look at him. You hope that he goes to a decent organization. But the kid, you're talking about Drake May. He probably can go to a bad organization and be that stable. You know what I'm saying?
Because he has intangibles there.
Yeah, you can.
I don't know if the other guys have. In other words, I don't know if he has the intangibles of Drake May, which is why I can't put him there.
Yeah.
And Caleb does have some Pat Mahomes in his game. When I watch Caleb, like he makes shit happen that shouldn't happen.
But you have to wonder. Like, I think I've told you, I'm not a big fan of the Lincoln Riley QBs.
And I've talked about you with this. It's like when I watch Caleb, I go, I see it, but is it a product of the system, or is it it? I'm with you though. When it comes to Lincoln Riley, just have a question mark. When it comes to Lincoln Riley and the quarterback, it's very similar to Urban Meyer in his heyday with the quarterback position. Very similar. Urban Meyer can produce an NFL quarterback worth a damn. But in college. Big time stuff.
Yeah.
I guess Alex Smith was the best thing Urban Meyer ever produced, and
he was crazy.
He was
a guy. He was a guy.
Serviceable. He was serviceable.
Yeah.
He was serviceable.
But you again, when you're looking at an NFL guy, and I said this about Lamar, right? Remember we had that little argument, not us, but Lamar or Baker, right?
Yeah.
And I'm probably one of the only people in this chat doesn't know that. I call Lamar QB1 coming out for one reason. You're either going to complete a lot of passes, you're going to make a lot of plays. He made a ton of plays. Completely unstoppable in college. Had nothing around him, kind of like Drake May. Y'all do what you want, but I'm going to get mine, right? So you have to look at these guys when you're looking at the class and say, who can I see lining up in the NFL offense and completing everything, right? Quinn Ewers is the first one I think of, right?
I actually agree with this comment too. I do think compared to previous Lincoln Riley quarterbacks, I do agree that Caleb looks different compared to those guys.
The skill set.
Yeah, I do agree with this comment right here. Caleb does, from a skill set standpoint, I do agree with that.
But remember, you guys, man, I said it in here a year ago, maybe. Lincoln Riley, nobody ever knows this because they don't look at the numbers. He is a run-first coach. Everything they do is off of play action, and everything they do is off of space. And when you're talking about playing in the NFL, it's about not having space and operating at an elite level in small spaces, right? So you have to ask yourself, is Caleb going to be able to live in a league where you don't have the freedom to do what the hell you want in the pocket? Real talk.
Yeah.
You know,
Caleb have talent, undeniable, but is Lincoln Riley preparing him for what he's going to have to do?
And
that's a big question.
Great translation. right?
Yeah. Can he make that? Yeah.
To your point, you watch Quinn Ewers. You put on about his best 15 throws, and you say, "Yeah, I'm not worried about that." Right? Like, right. I know exactly what's going to happen, and hopefully at the end of the year, I'm going to watch more Cameron Ward because I didn't realize he was off to such a hot start.
I watched him last week, and I was like, okay, let me pay more attention to Washington State.
So you look at Cameron Ward and you say, well, what if he's displaying that type of ability? Because now you have to shoot him up draft boards. He's 6'6", 230. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. And he can move, and he can really move. So you have to balance all that out. But yeah, I honestly hadn't given some thought before today, but I'm probably going to watch Ward more. Again,
where does Shedeur Sanders fit in this? Where does Penix fit in this? Where does DJ fit in this?
Penix has to get drafted.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm not gonna be biased here. I don't think Jordan Travis is draft. I won't say he's not draftable. He's not 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's 5 and beyond, in my opinion, with Jordan Travis. But let's be honest. Where's TVD sit in this? I think TVD needs some more coaching, but again, we're talking about physicals. Mm-hmm. TVD can make every throw you need him to make.
You have to say to yourself when you get into
where do these guys fit in? We know who 1 and 2 is.
Right.
We can debate 3.
Right.
4 and beyond.
Right.
Ricky Leonard at Duke. Where do these guys start fitting in?
Well, Leonard can't throw the ball. So you say to yourself, if I draft Riley Leonard, it's kind of the same thing with drafting Jordan Travis. They honestly, there's parallels in their game, right? But the parallel is the athleticism is used in 2 different ways.
I don't know why Boxing Monster don't like you, bro.
That's fine.
One thing I know about Jordan is he ain't repeating nobody he heard nobody else say, bro.
Man, that's my buddy, man. But now it's
most of these dudes on these podcasts, bro.
It's crazy.
They don't be talking shit, bro.
But you look at
we talked about this stuff 2 weeks before these dudes make a podcast, and we like, bro, they ain't do nothing but talking. Yeah, they ain't doing nothing but talking about what we already been talking about. So,
but this man here, like Damien, you said Daniel Jones 2.0, bad parallel. Daniel Jones could throw the ball. I don't think Riley Leonard could spin it, right? When I say spin it, not that he can't throw, but like, guys, this is the NFL, right? Like, you got to be able to go opposite hash to outside the numbers on the line because the DB is only going to give you, 8 inches. You know what I'm saying? To an 8-inch window to complete a pass. Like, so you have to look at that.
Oh wow,
that's not true. No.
I don't think that's true either.
That's not true. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to pay a lot of attention to Ward now, but there's no way that the kid doesn't get drafted. But you asked him about that next tier of guys. You have to look at, again, you brought up Ward, DJU, leave him alone. But DJU, what if DJU puts together a good season?
Yeah.
Right.
No, they're 14 up on number 10 Utah right now.
I'm saying, but what if this guy finishes with 30 plus touchdowns and 3 interceptions, right? Yeah. And the same thing with TVD. Like, if he finishes with a good year, right now he's on pace for 30 plus touchdowns or whatever it is, then you got to stop and you got to put on the tape and you got to have a conversation. And not that those guys are going to be first rounders, right? But NFL's going through a change in the guard.
At Kansas is a good one. Or no, Jaden Daniels at LSU, but the other Daniels at Kansas is another good one though.
Yeah, and again, you have to look at when the season's done, you put on the body of work and what pops. Like so to your point with TVD earlier, when you see the deep ball get going, you're gonna want to go back and watch film on it. Like you're gonna want to. You know what I'm saying? When he gets that thing going, so same thing with DJU. You're gonna watch 3 or 4 passes from DJU and be like, hey man, let me figure this out. So I don't think you're ever going to have more than 3 quarterbacks going to first, but that next group, those third rounders, is probably going to be the deepest one you see. You know what I'm saying?
Derek, I already said I think Sam Hartman's like this year's Hendon Hooker. And that's just me. I could be wrong, but that's not a Sam Hartman, great college quarterback, but if you ask me how he translates to the next level, I don't see it.
Mm-hmm. But he's going to have the Notre Dame tag, and he's going to get a shot, and he'll probably be a guy that backs up for 10 years.
No, he'll get the shot. Yeah, like you said, he'll hold a clip. He'll hold a clipboard. And,
yeah. But you know, again, man, I just think it's going to be too loaded to really have a conversation. But I would say that the younger guys are going to get more of the benefit of the doubt because of the upside. Will Levis. Well, we were talking about Will Levis this time last year. Right?
I never saw it with Will Levis, though. I don't know what they saw with him.
We didn't know he was 24. We didn't know he was 24.
Yeah, I didn't know what they saw with Will Levis.
But he's 24. If he was 21, I get it. But
then you get it. Yeah, then you get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
which is why Anthony Richardson goes 4 because
he just turned 21.
Bro, he has all the physicals, and he's young.
Yeah.
So even if he's well, he can't throw a lick, man. Fuck that.
Stop
First of all, he has an arm that is out of this world, and any NFL coach is drooling to get his hand. I tried to explain that to Florida State fans leading up to the draft, like this guy's gonna go top 5.
But they thought we was crazy when we brought him up a year ago before any of this happened.
Because he can't throw in college, bro. They don't give a fuck about that.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
They don't care.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's about how the draft is all about how you project to the next level. And the teams that don't do the draft well, you know what they do? They pick the quote unquote best statistical players in college. And they're the ones that don't draft well.
Hey, and I hate to say it, this will be an unpopular one. Everybody's really bullish on the Philadelphia Eagles and what they did in the draft. I'm gonna tell you right now.
What did they do? I don't quite remember.
I like the Jalen Carter pickup. Jalen Carter was a dog, but then they just went on that run of Georgia. Oh, we're going to take Nolan Smith because he ran 4.3, and we're going to take Keely Ringo. And then I guarantee them dudes aren't long-term starters in Philadelphia. I guarantee it. You know, they took dudes because of combine numbers and names. You get what I'm saying? Instead of really looking at the quality. And that's why you have like in the NFL, them dudes make their money based off what they do in rounds 2 through 7, right? Yeah. That's really what they make their money. Jalen Carter's a no-brainer. You don't get a pat on your back for that. Like, thank you for being here. You picked him up. You don't get a pat on your back for Bijan Robinson. You don't get a pat on your back for Andrew Luck. Like, don't mess it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, anything that's like certified, you don't get a pat on your back.
But you get a pat on your back for like, yo, the Lions, y'all took Brian Branch in the 2nd round. Yeah, go ahead, take that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and take that. You got a 10-year starter at safety in the 2nd round.
I don't understand why they took Gibbs in the 1st round.
They're not using him.
They're not using him. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why they took Gibbs in the 1st round.
I think it's legit, bro. He's too explosive of an athlete for a team that needs toys. You get what I'm saying? I think they need toys, and it's like, I'm not going to find that running back. He's Jamal Charles to me. That's what I think he is.
CJ looks solid.
CJ looks good. But again, to Bryce Young's respect, Carolina looks like a shit show.
Right? I'm not saying to Bryce Young's credit or whatever, like he said, to his respect.
Yeah.
Name something else over there, bro. Like, name one thing over there in Carolina that's worth a damn.
No, receivers, running backs. I mean, they don't. So I don't know, man. I think you can't judge that story right now. But CJ looks good. He looks really good. Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. Where's the flaw in the Eagles? Somebody I know this ain't a pro talk, but somebody at some point is going to force Jalen Hurts to only throw the football. Somebody's going to make it happen. And when that happens, they're screwed. You saw it against Tampa. He did not look good throwing the ball against Tampa. They said, oh, he had the fluke. No, man, that's Jalen Hurts. He's not a drop-back passer in the league. That's the flaw. You just have to find a way to keep that run game from going, and that's tough. It's real tough.
Terrell, I honestly don't – again, I know y'all don't like to hear me say that. I don't think so. It's not a knock on – I think JT is a great college quarterback, or he's evolved into a great college quarterback. But if you're asking me how he translates, if you're asking me when I look at this quarterback room that's going to be in this draft, and I look at May and Williams and Ewers and Penix and Ward and Cam Rising will be in that mix too. I know he's not playing right now because he's hurt, but he's going to declare. Like when I look at that mix and I go, I'm not trying to hate on my quarterback, bro. I'm only giving y'all the real because y'all know that's what I do.
Where does he fit? But where does
he go, bro? Like what's the team?
Adrian, you remember years ago, and I got like, I guess this was a lot of y'all FSU fans like realize I'm not just like a bullshitter. We was talking about Marvin Wilson, right? And I said, you guys are kidding me if you don't think we would have taken Marvin Wilson as a starter, right? Because we would have. It's Marvin Wilson. He's a 5-star guy, 6'5", 320. There's no way you wouldn't take him on your team if you don't have a D tackle, right? There's no way, if you're an FSU fan, you could love Travis all you want to, right? If I walk Quinn Ewers through the door tomorrow, are you kidding me?
Bro, I'm not I'm not taking JT over Ewers, Caleb, or May off rip. I'm not taking him off Sanders. Now, Sanders isn't going to declare this year. Yeah, I know that. No, but I'm not taking him off with Sanders off rip.
No. If you just be real, like, there's no way.
Give me a second, Jordan. Yeah. And I'm let me put this in perspective for Florida State fans. In the first 4 games, y'all, what has been one of our biggest criticisms with our offense? What we perceive to be the play calling in terms of we're not running a more diverse route tree. But when we do take those shots downfield, what have we been saying about Jordan Travis' ball placement? That it's been off. I mean, come on. Like you can see the limitations. I love JT, y'all. And I'm here to tell y'all right now, if he takes this Florida State team, and Jerg could probably attest to this. If somehow this Florida State team was to make it to the national championship team, from a talent perspective, this ain't damn sure ain't 2013. It ain't 1999, and it ain't 1993. Those are 3 national championship teams. If you take this team to a natty, Jordan Travis deserves all the credit as a college quarterback in the world. Top 2 or 3 FSU quarterbacks of all time. I'm just keeping it real with you. But from projection to the NFL standpoint, bro, JT is not. When Quinn Edwards walks through that door, bro, I'm like, okay, bye. Caleb Williams walks through that door.
It's people get hung up in this respect thing, you know, and we're just talking football. If you gave Quinn Ewers, if I was to take Keon Coleman and put him in a Texas uniform, it's not even.
If Quinn Edwards is throwing to Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, my dude,
he's throwing it to John Tay Wilson or whatever his name is.
Whoever he's the only receiver. Texas has damn is what's the kid? Is it Worthy?
That's Worthy. Yeah,
he came from Georgia. Like he's the only guy Texas got, in my opinion, that is worth a damn.
Right, bro. So you
a lot of guys with height, but nobody that I've seen actually put.
But you legit just let's just keep it real, man. So it's like you can't sit here and realize that that's the reality. You know what I mean? He might be an amazing college coach, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, he knows his stuff. He knows how to call a game, right? Adrian, we said it last year when you guys got on a roll that your boy Norvell found his rhythm, right? He found out what worked, and he found out how to put JT where he needed to be to play good football. That's his growth as a coach, right? This wasn't Mike Norvell at Memphis that was bubble screen, shot, bubble screen, shot. He moved the pocket, he did all that.
I fucking hate the bubble screen with the passion, bro.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's to me that's Memphis Norvell. That's what I remember seeing.
The worst playing football. I promise you that might be the worst play in football.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's effective when you have the numbers. The problem is we throwing bubble screens when it's like the
2-on-2.
Yeah, it's 2-on-2. Yeah, not 3-on-2. Like, what are we doing? So go ahead.
No, you're absolute. And again, bro, all I'm saying is that you look at what's really being achieved by these guys, and some guys' talents are actually like outplaying their circumstance. Ewers happens to play with an amazing coach, by the way. Sarkisian is one of the best players.
We're both high on Sark.
Yeah.
So
he's amazing.
I don't know, Sark. I would love to see if Sark can get over the hump, though.
Yeah, sure.
Because even at USC, like he had some guys.
Sure.
But he couldn't get over that hump.
Sure.
I want to see if Sark can get over the hump. That's my only criticism of Sark. He can recruit his ass off. He can coach the quarterback position like very few we've seen.
Yeah.
But he can't get over that fucking hump, bro.
Well, he also just became a recruiter at Texas, in my opinion. He just became a recruiter.
I think he did solid at USC and he was at Washington too, right?
But remember though, USC is USC, right?
Texas is Texas, so you can't.
But I think Texas is different than what. This is better than Mac Brown's recruitment at Texas. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Think so?
I think so, bro.
Mac won a natty, bro.
I think so, bro.
Mac got Earl Thomas, Jamal Charles.
Who's
Vince
Mac
Young.
Brown? But okay, so who's Mac Brown without Vince Young? He's nobody.
Okay, but
that's
who's Jimbo without James?
We could get into that too, but that's a fact.
Okay.
Right?
No, I'm just okay.
But he's not this guy that's just churning out like Saban or whatever. You won one great, right? But then you look at Texas recruiting in a nutshell. When don't they have a top 5 or 10 class? Because they're always getting the best kids, highly rated kids out of Texas. Now, what this guy's doing, especially in these last 2 cycles, is something Texas didn't do before.
Well, you got to take into account
the big N word.
Wait, what?
New N word, NIL.
No. Well, okay, but I also Texas is very like everybody knows Texas is going to the SEC.
Yes.
So I think that plays a part.
Well, for sure.
I think that plays a part.
For sure.
Whereas, I don't know. I can't criticize Matt because he won a natty there, and Vince Young was cold. Again, that team that they had that year, very good team. But that moving back to the SEC, I think benefits Sark a lot, and obviously NFL, obviously NIL.
Well,
I think the fact that for a little bit here. So when did Texas A&M make that jump? 2014, 2013. Texas A&M and Missouri made that jump to the SEC. So for about a decade, A&M had that edge over Texas.
Sure.
And that shit is and we live in this state. I know you moving to Jersey because you about to be a Yankee, I guess. I don't know what's going on in Jersey. But anyway, we live in this state, and I tell people all the time, this is a Longhorn state. Florida might be the only state that I know where I don't think there's a definite state team.
For sure.
Bama's Bama. I know there's the Auburn fan, but Bama's Bama.
Right.
California's USC. I know there's UCLA, but it's USC.
Right.
I think. Obviously, I don't live there, but that's just from the outside looking in. Florida's the only state I think of where I go, well, shit, if you live in North Florida, that's all Florida State. Central Florida, for the most part, that's all Gator country. And then South Florida is all Miami. Right. Florida's literally split up. Yeah. Florida's damn near 3 different states in one state.
Right.
Texas is Longhorns, bro.
Right.
And now that shit's finna go away.
Right.
There's no more of that edge for A&M. I think A&M might want to cut their losses and let Jimbo go to West Virginia, bro. Because I don't think it gets better for A&M. And that's a whole different conversation. But with Texas coming to the SEC and the NIL being what it is now,
yeah,
and everybody knows Texas is the most profitable school in all of college football.
Right.
What are we talking about, bro?
It might be a GG. It might be a GG.
Yeah, right. Good game. Pass the sticks.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely. I think again though, I guess where I'm coming from is, I think.
I know, y'all might think I'm a Longhorn fan the way I talk about them, and I'm really not. I am a fan of Quinn Edwards. I think Quinn Edwards is a dog, but I'm speaking fact.
Right.
Go ahead, Jerry. My bad.
No, it's cool. I didn't even recognize he made that comment because that's kind of funny.
That is
But
funny, yeah.
but not it's you have to consider the fact that regardless of the factors, Sark looks like he's bringing in NFL future guys everywhere.
That tackle they just got committed to them.
They got hit. So the top 2 tackles in 2 of the last 3 classes,
bro.
Right? You got the best DN in the class. He's loading up, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that Texas has always been a powerhouse in recruitment. This is next level. This is you're flirting with Georgia. You're flirting with Bama with the type of talent that you're getting into there consistently.
I've actually never been to a UT game, by the way. I don't know what you're talking about, Boxing Moss.
Go watch them lose to Kansas in person again.
I'm a fan of the talent. I could care less about the Texas Longhorns, bro. But when I see it, it's no different with Miami. When I see a guy that I like, I'm like, and Jerg can tell you, there's been plenty of Miami players where I'm like, Jerg, I like this motherfucker.
What was that?
And Jerg will also tell you, like I recently told him, I'm done with James Williams.
Sure.
I'm done with him.
Sure.
Not because I don't think he's a talented guy.
Sure.
But man, James does some stuff where I'm like, for your talent level, you should be better, bro. You should be better.
You're gonna look at. I'm telling you, he's gonna be one when you look at the grades at the end of the year. You're gonna say,
it wouldn't shock me if this dude was a way better pro than a college player. Like, it would not shock me. But as far as college goes, I'm like, man, James, come on, man, get it together, bro.
No, I think not to get off topic. I think he's found his role, right? It's just can he finally excel at that, top 10 defender in the country type talent that everybody projected him to be, man.
Remember, we did a discussion of Hunter and James. Now, granted, we didn't fucking get Hunter, but remember we talked about 2 revolutionary talents, in my opinion.
Sure.
Bro, you don't spit out 6'5", 220 plus DBs. If you don't spit, those don't come around. I don't.
Sure.
What? Okay, before James, when's the last time that's happened? Pat Watkins?
Yeah.
like when's the last time that happened?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's usage or whatever. He just hasn't been.
I think, like I said, you're looking at, if you looked at where he's been playing this year, and keeping him at the boundary the way they kept him at the boundary the entire, you know what I'm saying? Leave it there, please. Like, please leave him there. Set the strong side to the boundary and base your defense around that. Because I think that's the only place I think when he gets out in space, Alo, is when you start to see him get out of control, right?
I just thought about it. Like, that's my thing with James. It's like, I could see him having a great pro career. I could also see him being fucking Isaiah Simmons, bro.
Yeah.
And have no place in the league.
Yeah. No, he needs to stay. He needs
being this tremendous athlete that has no place.
He needs to stay.
So I don't root against James. But when I told you I was done with him, it's just like, I don't know if that's because the way Miami utilizes him or just from what I see, I'm like, he's not what I thought. Like Cam Kitchens. Is Cam Kitchens back, by the way?
He'll be back on the 7th.
I love Cam. I think Cam Kitchens, like we did the preseason discussion, I feel like Cam Kitchens is the only player, and a little dig at Miami, but I think Cam Kitchens is the only player that would start. First of all, our safeties suck. And any Florida State fans know that I've been talking about our safeties sucking for 10 months now. Cam Kitchens is, I think, the only player that I would for sure say starts for Florida State. Maybe, matter of fact, I'll take that back. Cam Kitchens, and I take Maui Goa over Byers any day. But go ahead, Joe.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right
now. Maui Goa any day over Byers.
When you get, I just think when the dust settles at the end of the year, I'm not talking about records, right? Just when the dust settles at the end of the year and you see how these guys pay, grade out and whatever, I think that the conversation is going to be very different. But I also think the product between the two of us on the field is going to look very different than it did the last 3 years, right? And I'm very, very certain. I'm probably going to turn off the group chat that day. I want to talk to you. But I think it's going to be a little bit more.
Well, that day I'm gonna be in Tallahassee, so.
Oh, good. So I definitely want to talk to you.
I probably won't be talking too much to anybody.
I'll be very.
What do you think about this comparison, though?
I was gonna say that. Because if you remember,
I think James Williams is a way more fluid athlete than Taylor Mays.
Yeah, but
Taylor Mays was a physical was a physical specimen, but he was very stiff. He was very one-dimensional, straight line, speed.
But when he came downhill, though.
No, when he came downhill, he was cracking some shit.
Yeah. There you go, Adam.
But no, I think James Williams is a more fluid athlete than Taylor Mays.
No, for sure. I think he's more finesse, and that's part of the frustration, right? Is that he doesn't bring what you would expect a guy to bring at 6'5", 220. You know what I'm saying? He moves like a guy that probably weighs 195, but he's also
like if you look at Taylor Mays, if you looked at Taylor Mays just on a spreadsheet, speed, straight line speed, and all that, you would say Taylor Mays.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is a revolutionary to the game.
Yeah.
But he didn't play like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
James is very similar, but I think when you go away from the actual like spreadsheet, you look at the tape, James is a much more fluid athlete than Taylor Mays.
I think
the reason why Taylor Mays didn't even last in the NFL. How long did Taylor Mays play in the NFL? He didn't
really play.
No, he didn't really.
Yeah. Now I think that's crazy. Utah. Okay, so I got to check the Utah score real quick. Hold on. Because I guarantee you, DJU. What's DJU doing? Hold on.
Bro, DJU isn't even in the game right now.
Oh, no way.
No, I don't know if he's hurt. But I'm looking at the game right now. No, that's Utah with the ball. I'm a mistake.
So DJU, who couldn't throw the ball last year.
It's my mistake. That's Utah with the ball right now. But it looks like Oregon State's defense is actually dominating this game. But that, which doesn't surprise me, because I actually watched them last week, and I was like, this Oregon State defense is out here hit. Like, am I watching Pac-12 ball? Oregon State was out there hitting last week against Washington State.
Yeah. Nah, he DJU. I mean, he's having a good game.
What is the stat line though for that?
13 for 21, 202 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I think Oregon State has returned a pick 6 or something like that. Like the defense has been getting it in.
Well, they got 2 rushing touchdowns. They got a big one, 45-yard rushing touchdown. So it looks like they. Yeah.
Antoine speaks to it. Like I thought Oregon had the ball, but it was Utah with the ball.
Yeah.
Because Utah's not wearing. I don't think they're wearing their traditional away uniforms.
Yeah, no, they're not.
So I thought it was Oregon with the ball, but it's actually Utah with the ball. But no, it's a little bit.
Now it's again, bro. I think anyway, I think hopefully James finds his way, man. But long story short, bro, I think we're destined for a little bit of a clash here, man. I want it. Believe it or not, I want it. Because I think it just helps both squads. Like we should though.
I know Florida State fans don't like to hear that. Mm-hmm. But if FSU and Miami are in meaningful football games, that helps both teams recruiting. That means everybody wants to stay home.
Right, because they want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of that.
We rekindle what we had. So I want Florida State and Miami to be playing for the ACC championship at the end of the year.
That would be crazy though.
I want Miami. I would love for Miami to run the table and come November 11th. Like, that's the game.
Yeah.
Like,
but bro,
that's what it used to be. Right?
If that happens, if we were to play twice and play in an ACC championship game, you could legit see a scenario where a 1 or even 2 loss. You know what I'm saying?
So if we're assuming that November 11th, both teams are undefeated,
right?
And then let's say we split the 2 games. Let's say Florida State wins at home because that's a home game for Florida State. Let's say we get y'all at home, but in the ACC title game, y'all get us.
That would be crazy.
That's 2 ACC teams in the playoff.
That'd be crazy.
And any other year, the committee has shown that they would give it to both of those teams.
Yeah.
So how would they justify leaving Florida State and Miami with Florida State having wins over LSU.
Right.
With Miami having wins over Clemson.
Crazy. It would be crazy.
Like, you could legit see that. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we still gonna whoop that ass, but I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it.
So, hey, you got to get my dog though. What's his name? What's the name, bro? Because somebody brought it up earlier. At the end of the year, we got to come back and talk about Nigel Leak and Pat Payton. Remember, we had that discussion on here. We got to follow that up at the end of the year, because I don't know how Pat's doing, but I know Nigel Leak's been hurt. I just remember that.
Pat has at least one sack for sure. I know he had one sack against Clemson.
We'll revisit that at the end of the. We gotta start putting that stuff down on paper.
I don't know what's going on with Nigel Leak personally. I know Pat.
Well, he was hurt.
Pat's been a little.
He was hurt. He missed like a game and a half.
Pat was a redshirt freshman, and as most players, once a team starts getting film on you, now they know how to block you. They know what your strengths and weaknesses are. I think Pat's going to be fine, but that's a good conversation to have. Sure.
I want to see him. Like I said,
is Nigel Leak? He's a true soft. So he didn't get the red shirt, right?
No, and he the way this man Guidry's playing the scheme, bro. I don't know how much you've watched us, but it's so much of that DN making a read to the boundary and to the flats. So much of a DN making that read in the boundary to the flats that this kid's
so one guy, and I think Nigel Leak's going to be fine.
Yeah.
The one guy for y'all that I think he was the higher rated guy, but who's that other guy? He came from like the West Coast or something.
Jaden Wayne?
No, he's a South Florida kid, ain't he?
No, Jaden Wayne's from Washington.
No, so he wasn't in the last class because Jaden Wayne was in your last class. He was in Mario's transition class. Who's that kid?
Cyrus Moss?
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna ever be what y'all think he was supposed to be. I don't think Cyrus Moss is gonna be that.
He can't keep weight. They say he can't keep weight.
The guy can't play over 220. Like, he's not gonna be.
Yeah,
he's not gonna be that, bro.
No, unless he can be Deion Jordan. Yeah. He's it sucks. I mean, you want the best for the kid, but if he can't gain weight, he's got to go to another conference, you know?
Yeah, he's got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, you got to figure that out. But man, hey man, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits, man. I've been up since early, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I got you.
You know, I appreciate y'all. Hey, if y'all don't start sharing this man's stream on y'all social media, I'm gonna come find you now, especially DCF, because you be on Twitter all the time talking that noise, and I don't see no share buttons, bro. You gotta share my dog's stream, man. I appreciate you having me, Halo. Big time, bro. Big time, bro.
I know it was like a little bit some last minute stuff, man, but I thank you for coming on. I think everybody enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So I know you're a busy man, so we gotta box him on and say you're old man, you're getting tired. I don't know. He's either being old right now or the wife he's saying, hey, Neville.
Man, she been asleep since about 7 o'clock, man. I'm just dying right now, you know.
Okay, so he's sleeping.
Hey, check me. Let's do something. At least at the end of the month, bro.
So you made some good point. If you're available, we can do a watch along with Colorado and USC. Just let me know.
I'll be around tomorrow.
So if you want to do that, we can do tomorrow in the afternoon. We can do a watch along. Y'all know I ain't doing no more Florida State watch alongs, but I'll do USC and Colorado.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, let me know. And then we gotta get some more stuff going. I think people enjoy this stuff.
We'll set it up for tomorrow. I'll text you first thing in the morning, bro.
Yeah, let me know, and then I'll set it up.
All right, brother. We'll talk later, man. Appreciate y'all, boys.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I know there's a little impromptu live. I know y'all didn't know I was going live tonight, but I feel like that was some good stuff. Y'all know Jerd. I love talking ball. When Jerd, me, and Terrence get on here, we talk ball. Where is Terrence at, by the way? Because I don't kind of feel like getting off just quite yet. Let me see where Terrence at. He said he was playing kickball today. Whatever that. So that means Terrence gonna pull his hamstring. Clemson cracked the ACC code. They about to leave. Of course, you got the funds to do so. You think Fuller needs to move Peyton and Verse around? I think that's a great question, Damien. I don't know if they need to move them around. Moving them around can't hurt. I think I don't want to say that yet. I'm going to hold my comments on what I was about to say because I don't want to go that far. But you do have to get more creative with Peyton and Verse. So I'm going to go with what you're saying. You need to get more creative. You need to get more creative. Damien says ride for another hour. I don't know if I'm going to do another hour. I mean, I can. Definitely can. Ain't like I got nothing to do. We'll just vibe with the chat and see how we go. How about that? Versus move in Clemson game and he blew up a play. You have to move. That's a good point from Zoe. So, yeah, maybe the answer is yes. I heard the same thing 2 days ago. October 10th is supposed to be the day they split. There's been a lot of talk about Clemson and Florida State and what's going on with the moving. We'll see what happens. We need to leave JP and Fuller at the tarmac. Yeah, I thought Pat played a solid game against Clemson for sure. Utah's done. They're not going to come back. They're not 21-0. Terrell, can I be honest with you? Don't take offense to this, Terrell, because I love you. I'm going to be honest with you right now. About when it comes to FSU hoops. Shut that up. I want to hear that shit. One more time. When it comes to FSU hoops. Shut that up. I want to hear that shit. I don't give a good goddamn. I don't give a damn about Florida State hoops. I'm not even going to play with you. If Florida State hoops never won another damn game, I wouldn't care, man. I wouldn't give a damn. Does UNC play Clemson this season? Great question. Do they? Well, I mean, I'm not going to – I can look it up, but I'm not sure. The Grillmaster says they do, so. Right. We got a basketball team? I didn't even know that. Can May beat Clemson? Great question. We'll find out. Bro, if you're telling me that we sacrificed the basketball team for football, I mean that don't matter to me. Don't get me wrong, I watched the basketball team and I root for them, but Florida State football is the reason why I became a fan. Do I like Duke tomorrow? No, but if they won, one, it wouldn't shock me, and two, that would be interesting. Like that would tell me, okay, like if you can beat Notre Dame, that'd tell me some stuff. But I'm gonna go with Notre Dame tomorrow. No, Clemson's got Notre Dame. They've got Miami left on that schedule. Those two teams for sure. I think they got Louis. No, they don't play Louisville. Probably North Carolina left on the schedule. Clemson's not in the clear. What Clemson are we talking about? Them leaving the conference? Those rumors. NC State. NC State showed today that they could be a tough team. I think Notre Dame is overrated. They always get the benefit of the doubt. Might need to sacrifice a soccer program. Has Notre Dame actually put up points against competent teams? I guess they did against NC State, right? I mean, you watch NC State tonight. NC State looked like a competent football team, and Notre Dame did their thing. Like it's, you know, we pick and choose like when we say a team's competent or not. But I think, like, if you ask me, I think Notre Dame's a top 15, 20 team in the country. Through 4 games, it's hard to tell where anybody's at. Top 15, 20, I think Notre Dame's in that mix. I've seen all of that, bro. Everybody's been making excuses. One of the things I hate the most about the whole Clemson Florida State conversation was like how Clemson lost the game and Florida State didn't win it. Last time I checked, FSU had to score to win the game. It was tied going into overtime. So if FSU doesn't score, they don't win. How many national championships did Florida State lose because of missed field goals and like this and third? Like, we can talk about who lost and who won and who gifted, whatever. At the end of the day, somebody won and somebody lost. Miss me with the who won it, who lost it conversation. Yeah, I'm debating actually, Boxing Monster, if I'm gonna buy that fight. That fight's like $80 freaking, and I'm like, what? That fight is not. I don't know if that fight's worth $80. What do y'all think? What do you think? I got Canelo though. I don't think Charlo's gonna beat Canelo. If I'm being honest with you, I think Charlo fights too much like to Canelo's preferred style, and Charlo is coming up in weight. Right? This is little Charlo. This is 154 Charlo coming all the way up to 160. Or are they fighting at? I think Canelo weighed in at 165 or some shit I saw today. This is Lil Charlo coming up. I don't know. I got Canelo. I like Charlo as fighters, but don't get me wrong. I love to see it. I don't see a situation where he wins, man. I don't know. I don't know. Charlo, yeah, both came in at, yeah. So they fighting that. They fighting that super middle. They fighting that Caleb Plant Benavidez weights. They're not even fighting that 160. Yeah, I don't know, bro. And Charlo's a 154. He's the 154 undisputed. So for me, it's like And Canelo's used to fighting at this weight. Isn't this is we're talking about Jermel. This is Jermel's first time fighting at this weight. I'm gonna go Canelo. I might. At the end of the day, I'll probably end up buying it or trying to find a live stream for it or something. But he got heart, no doubt. And I think the 154 Charlo is arguably the better one. The middleweight one don't fight enough. I know he's been hurt, but he don't, but you don't get undisputed by being trash. But Canelo's fought too many guys, bro. I don't know. By the way, I saw Caleb Plant slap one of the Charlos, so and by that reaction, I'm just gonna go with Canelo off the rip. Should be a good fight though. Extreme, yeah. I'll look it up. I'll watch it tomorrow, most likely. It was Big Charlo. Okay, yeah, I know one of them got slapped by Plant and did nothing. Didn't do a goddamn thing. We'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going with Canelo at this point. Charlo's gonna have to show me some type of. Charlo's gonna have to show me some volume, which I don't know if he fights that way. Like Bivol. Bivol just threw punches and beat Canelo by just throwing more punches and connecting. I don't know if Charlo has that game plan in him, but we'll see. I don't know if Charlo has the volume that Bivol had when and then and again that's at 175. Like I don't know. Like Charlo's fighting at a weight he's never fought at. Canelo's used to fighting at this weight at this point. When's the last time Canelo even fought at 154? He don't fight at that weight anymore. Canelo's a strictly super middleweight, light heavyweight fighter at this point. I don't know. We'll see. The Florida game is in Gainesville this year, right? Florida game's in Gainesville. And Utah getting dominated. It feels good to have a bye week, man. It feels good to kind of like breathe, like Florida State. We knew it from the jump. Tough 4-game stretch. If you can somehow come, I personally thought 3-1. That's how I thought we'd finish the month of September. We're 4-0. Bye week couldn't have came at a better point. Oregon State defense, something to see. I think we will start to get our run game going in the second half. Just like the last 2 years, we started off slow. Okay. I hear that, Josh. FSU earned. Yeah, I agree with that, man. We earned the bye week, bro. We earned the bye week. We need this bye week. Bye week couldn't have came at a better time. With some of the guys being nicked up and just that tough 4-game grind. Like three of the 4 games was actually games. LSU, Boston College, and Clemson were actually games. Southern Miss was what we thought it was going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see, after the bye week, how them boys come out. I expect a very well-oiled machine. Yeah, like Jakeem said, time to get healthy and get rolling. And that's kind of what I expect. I think we flip any 5-star receivers. I think their main focus is Jeremiah. Apparently, I talked about it on Wednesday about the Nye Carr kid. Apparently, Florida State isn't quite interested in this dude from everything I've read up on. And if that's the case, I guess they are obviously focused on Jeremiah. So we'll see. When you say downplaying FSU, in what manner do you mean? I'm curious. Because I don't listen to everybody. Or let me rephrase that. I listen to almost everybody, but I tend to not listen to people until I do my stuff. Then I'll go back and listen to them. So like when I do shows on my Wednesdays or my Thursdays or whenever I do a show, my goal is I don't listen to anybody leading up to my show because I don't want my opinion to be swayed or whatever, right? I want you to get my honest opinion. So I'm not really aware what anybody's been saying, because I really haven't listened. I haven't listened to anybody this past week, mainly because it was a bye week. I didn't feel like it was necessary, even though we came off the win against Clemson. I honestly haven't listened to anybody this past week. So no, sir. What are they talking about? What, like when you say downplaying, what are they talking about? That I do know. I do know. Nykar is a teammate of Landon Thomas. I know that, but apparently FSU isn't quite pursuing him, from what I hear.
This is one of those times, Spencer, when you're really glad that
once we put it all together, no defense in the country will be able to stop us this year. You have to outscore us to win. Knowles beat Texas in the Natty 38-34. St. Luke will be the starter, I'm assuming, next year. Media act like we got by on luck. FSU media is acting like that. I mean, FSU media. Give me a second. Let me take a swig. Because FSU media does this thing with y'all where they play with y'all, man. And I'm not telling y'all to not listen to who you like. You should listen to whoever you like. And it's always good to get different perspectives. But I don't blame the FSU media anymore. I blame the fans. Because y'all let people lie to y'all and rile y'all up. They're going to play to y'all's emotions, bro. Again, I haven't listened to anybody, so I don't know exactly what they're saying for me to dispute it. But I stand on what I said Wednesday. Joe Klatt don't count as FSU media, so I could care less what Joe Klatt has to say. I could care less what RJ Young has to say. Anybody that's not Florida State media, I could care less about. And when we speak FSU media, we're talking about Noel Cast. And I'm not calling any of these people out. I listen to all of these people. But, FSU's 247 guys, the Noel Cast, the Noel's Game Day. Like, that's FSU media. But Joe Klatt doesn't count. Of course, he's going to talk shit about Florida State. RJ Young, he's going to talk shit about Florida State. I don't care about those guys. I can care less. Insane hates Texas. I get it. So who do I have in the Super Bowl? Too early to call it a Super Bowl. NFL's not like college. College, you can kind of like foresee teams. NFL, man, it's a mixed bag. I can't call the NFL quite yet. National media act like we got bad on luck. I've seen a lot of media people like Joe Klatt over criticized. We're giving credit to yeah. That's why I can't take him serious. Again, Joe Klatt isn't FSU media. We're specifically talking about FSU media. You can't RJ Young, and I've been going at him on Twitter because I want him to respond. He's not going to respond to me. I hope he blocks me at least. I want some kind of response out of this guy. But RJ Young picks Colorado to beat Oregon. They get blown. Picks Clemson to beat Florida State, but then downplays the Florida State win. But nobody's talking about Colorado. Like, these people have agendas, bro. These people have agendas. I don't care about the rankings, though. I will say that. I can care less. I do this every year with y'all in these rankings. I don't give a damn about the rankings. If FSU does what they're supposed to do, they will be ranked where they are supposed to be ranked. I don't care about the rankings. The rankings are just about who looks the prettiest week to week. So, of course, FSU went to overtime with Clemson, who is unranked. Understand that half of these people that vote on rankings don't watch every game. So all they do is look at the box score. And if you look at the box score, Clemson outgained Florida State. And all these they led in all these statistical categories except for the score. So what does it tell these people? It says, well, Florida State got lucky or whatever you want to call it. So they downplay the victory. At the end of the day, I don't care about the rankings in September. I don't care about the rankings in October, and I don't care about the rankings in November. Come December, when that Final Four starts to matter, we can start talking rankings. What is the spread? I don't know what the spread is. Oh, look at Utah. Finally scored a point. He's on. He covers football for Fox. Yeah. That's a great question. I want us to get a number 3 guy involved. I don't know if we get one. I would love to see it. Winston Wright can be that guy. There's nothing that shows me that Winston Wright can't be that guy. I heard today that the Post and Courier here from South Carolina released a statement about Clemson planning to announce the departure from the ACC to the Big Ten. That could be big for FSU. Well, if Clemson's announcing that move, you got to believe that Florida State's going to be close to follow. Terrell says, "POLK is one of the best and authentic, one of the kind. So who it is can kiss the rock." So what? Somebody said something about me. I appreciate that comment, by the way, Terrell. Again, I just come on here and talk football. I'm not everybody's flavor, and I understand that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I just come on here and talk ball. And 9 times out of 10, you can't really defute stuff. You can have your opinion, but you can't really defute the stuff I'm saying. I'm just saying. 9 times out of 10. Boxing Monster says Dustin Hill. I wouldn't worry about Klatt. I'm not. We go to the Big Ten. Hell be on our side. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these guys get played. They get paid by networks. Networks cover certain conferences. That's exactly. Damian hits the nail on the head. That's exactly why a Joe Klatt or RJ Young, or who RJ Young is paid by Fox to cover football. Who pays the SEC? Who's the ACC playing to cover football, if anybody? T, do you want to come on? Let me know if you want to come on. I mean, I'm chilling. I've already been on for 2 hours and 44 minutes, but I'm cooling it. People are still engaged in the chat, so let me know, Terrence, if you want to come on. I'll shoot you the link. I know you was playing kickball. Did you pull a hammy this time? Let me know. I've done content with Nose Game Day in the past. I like Nose Game Day. Let me be clear. I like everybody. Again, I listen to everybody. I try not to listen to people. So if I do a show on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, I don't listen to anybody because I don't want my opinion swayed. Thursday and Friday is when I listen to all the content that I didn't listen to the first 2 days of the week. So I like everybody. I may not agree with everybody, but I do listen to everybody. But I do, when I come on here, I try not to have my opinion swayed by other people. So honestly, guys, when y'all hear my takes, these are my genuine takes. Other than the stuff I read, I'm not listening to another podcast. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. All right, man. You better hope I'm still on here in 10 minutes. It's freaking 11 o'clock at night. What you need 10 minutes for? 11 o'clock Central Time, by the way. Do you think Clemson feels they have a jump on switching conferences very soon, realizing their window? I think all of that comes down to not so much whether they feel they have a jump. I think I honestly think it comes down to the institution supporting that. So, for instance, with Clemson, and maybe Clemson has the financial backing that they can announce it that quick, right? And maybe Florida State has been in talks with Clemson, and so that's like But if Clemson is going to announce soon, it has more to do with, I believe, the financial backing than it has to do with realizing their window is closing. It has everything to do with, somebody's generated the money, and we're about to announce this now because we can actually pay it. That's what I think. Justin Hill's the next P-Dub. Oh, God. And Terrence, you're not even home yet? Bro, you better hope I'm still on here. Who's on Upsets Alert this weekend? Let's look at the schedule. That's a solid question. Let me look at the schedule. Let's see. I don't know. A dodgeball doubleheader. Damn, that's dedication. You ain't lying. A dodgeball doubleheader, and it is past midnight on the East Coast and 11:10 on the Central Time. And this man said he was playing. Sounds like a lie to me. What you think, Boxing Monster? It sounds like he was out cheating. Let me see if Vanessa was with you. I think he was out cheating, bro. Because that don't sound that sent. One of the rule of thumbs I have is if it don't make sense, it's not true. Who the hell is playing dodgeball at 11 o'clock at night? I don't know, chat. What y'all think? I think Terrence was out cheating. I'm going to call Vanessa on the man. Let's see. Upsets. We got Oregon State. Looks like they're going to upset Utah. So that's the first upset of the week. USC Colorado. Florida, Kentucky, I guess would be considered an upset based on rankings. I don't know what the line is for that game. Kansas and Nebraska Kansas and Texas. I'm sorry, is a decent one. I don't think Kansas is going to beat Texas, but I wouldn't be shocked if they beat Texas. I actually would not be shocked if Kansas can beat Texas. If you made me pick a team with Jalen Daniels, maybe it's Kansas versus Texas. If I'm Texas, I'm on upset alert. Texas better be focused. LSU Ole Miss. We're gonna see. We're going to see how good Bama's win was against Ole Miss last week with the LSU Ole Miss game. LSU's 13, Ole Miss is ranked 20. And Notre Dame and Duke is another one. I don't know who's favored in that game, but by rankings, I mean, Duke beating Notre Dame would be an upset. But out of all the games, if I had to pick one upset, Kansas and Texas would be that game. Just from looking at the schedule right now. Appreciate you, Jeff. I didn't even know you were in here, Jeff, man. But I thank you for tuning in tonight, even if it's just for a short time. Jeff. Yeah, she should hear it. Because why are you out at 11 o'clock playing dodgeball? You should be home taking care of your child. I think you're cheating. She should hear that. Nessa, you need to pay more attention to T. There's no reason why he should be out on a Friday night playing kickball. I will be in Tally for the FSU Miami game. I will be too. So I'll see you, Josh. Can't wait to beat the hell out of them so they will shut up. They're never going to shut up. If you haven't noticed that yet, you're never going to shut up. How good they are, and they have not played anybody yet. They're never gonna shut up. I mean, if you're a Florida State fan, you've been dealing with Miami fans your entire existence. Every year they're back. They're never gonna shut up. You think USC covering Colorado? What's the spread? I actually don't know the spread on that game. They're like a 20+ point favorite though, right? I think everybody thinks that that'd be a shootout. I'm gonna say USC covers it. I wouldn't. I'm gonna say USC covers. I don't think Colorado's gonna be able to block USC's D line, and I think that's gonna be the difference in that game. Obviously, um, I ain't getting Terrence caught. Terrence getting himself caught. How am I dry shitting? He out at midnight on a Friday talking about he playing kickball. Okay. I got you, T. T said he got a flight in the morning. I understand that. You still shouldn't be out playing kickball at no midnight, though. I'm just saying. Oh, if you ain't, first of all, I think the tickets are sold out. So if you're buying tickets now, you're getting it from resellers. I bought my tickets like at the beginning of September. Like I bought my ticket like second game of the season. So if you're trying to buy a ticket to the Miami game right now, first of all, you're not going to find one worth. You're not going to find a deal, so to speak. I didn't get him jammed up. The man got himself jammed up. How you coming home at midnight talking about something you've been playing kickball? The lies. Vanessa, he lying. She with you? I don't believe it. Coming home at midnight talking about you've been playing kickball. Terrence is 40 years old. Playing kickball. Get out of here. At a minimum, is going to help us get healthy, Brandon. What is it, Ewers? And that's his name, right? Quinn Ewers. That's his name. SeatGeek still selling them. That's how you're going to have to get one. Right there. Bruh, I see it. Look, he just got sacked. Now Utah quarterback, like you say, fighting for his life. It's over though. That game's over. Shout out to Oregon State. Again, I think the Pac-12 is going to cannibalize itself. Oregon State loses to Washington State last week, which both teams were undefeated and ranked. Now Utah, who's the top ranked Pac-12 team, them or USC is the top ranked Pac-12 team. Now Utah loses to Oregon State, who just lost last week. Like, it wouldn't shock me if USC lost tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think they cover, but I think the Pac-12 is going to cannibalize itself for sure. I think them Oregon State uniforms are horrendous, though. I think they're god awful. Mainly the helmets. Those helmets are terrible. Like, ugh. Terrence ain't playing no kickball. I don't know what he's kicking, but it ain't a ball. I don't think so. I don't think so. Could be wrong. If you ask me, if I'm Lester, and this is no, I don't think so. I think Lester never said he was shutting down his recruitment. As a matter of fact, when Lester committed to Florida State, he made it clear that he would still be taking visits. So for me, no, I'm not worried about Lester visiting Florida. Because I guarantee the only way I'd be worried about that if you told me that he was never taking another visit to Florida State, and I know that's not the case. So no, I would not be worried about Lester visiting Florida. He's the same player he was at Florida State. Micah is an explosive. Who do we play off the bye? Is that Virginia Tech? Not against Virginia Tech, I don't think so. Well, guys, it looks like I did a solid 3 hours. It's fun to have Jurg on here. I got to get those guys on here more often. But we all have real lives. We all live real life with children and wives and jobs. So it's hard to get Terrence and Jurg on here at the same time all the time. But we did a solid 3. I know y'all enjoyed having Jurg on here. We got some Miami perspective for the Miami fans. I saw a couple Miami fans in here, New King and John, and not John Shields. Was John Shields in here? Shields might have been here. I don't remember. But I know Zay was in here. Yeah, and kickball. Apparently, kickball is like a thing now. As a 40-year-old man, we're playing kickball on weekends. But okay. You can't fool me with the lies, but you can fool your wife with the lies, Terrence. But we got to get these guys on here more often, man. I think y'all like it when we talk straight ball. And that's what me and Jurg do. We talk straight ball. Regardless of the teams, man, we talking ball over here on 863 Cinema TV. Me and Jurg might do a watch along tomorrow with Colorado and USC. So y'all tune into that. That's a noon game. Colorado USC. He'll let me know in the morning if he can make that. Me, I don't do nothing on the weekend, so I can always make weekend stuff. We'll do a watch along tomorrow afternoon, not early morning, but mid morning. That'll be 11 o'clock Central Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Colorado USC. Let's do a watch along with that if that happens. Y'all tune in for that. But as always, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Not a big crowd tonight, but I expected that. It was a last-minute stream. Nobody was expecting it. So not a big crowd tonight. But share the videos. That's the biggest thing I always tell you guys, man. Hit the like button and share the videos. The more you guys share the videos, the more y'all share the videos and get it out to maybe people that aren't aware, the better it is for us. Vanessa said shut that. Okay. Well. That's Vanessa falling for the fact that you a 40-year-old playing kickball on a Friday night. I mean, if that don't sound like some bullshit to me, I don't know what that sounds like. But touche, I'll shut it up. As always, y'all hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, share the videos, and always hit them comments. It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles. Terrence is a cheater, and we are out here. Go Noles.